Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and that feeble, nervous little man, Merrick Garland, who's the Attorney General of the United States. Don't you know? He was before the House Judiciary Committee yesterday, and he was taking fire from a lot of different directions, across a lot of different fronts, issue fronts. But I thought Victoria Sparks from Indiana, by way of Ukraine.
And she's been on this program before.
Congressman Sparks, I thought, provided sort of the best summary of the Justice Department under Merrick Garland, the Justice Department in this administration. She essentially just described the playbook that Merrick Garland uses, as Christopher Wray uses, too. Here's the playbook.
Let's extend slow walk investigation on Hillary Clinton, on Hunter. Everything is slow walk. We were very quick on Donald Trump, but you were very slow walk. Then by the time, that investigation ended, statute of limitation expired, and all of your agents need to be tested for amnesia. No one recalls anything. Okay, you probably should have as part of your hiring policy. So no one held accountable, which was egregious what happened, in that report. When I read about them, I can't believe it happened in the United States of America. This is my frustration. I'll be honest with you.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Yeah, that is the playbook. She's got it about right. And it's particularly poignant coming from somebody who emigrated to this country from Eastern Europe and knows what it's like to live under communism. She's right about the playbook, and the Wall Street Journal echoed her sentiment. Shortly before the Trump administration left office, Barr declined Republican calls to appoint a special counsel for Hunter. We agreed with them. We warned a special counsel can bury a case in secret for years, and an AG can duck questions by saying, hey, that's the special counsel's job. Talk to the special counsel. And that's the point that Merrick Garland brought home yesterday when he said that any answers you have to any of these questions related to the Biden Incorporated investigation will be, quote, addressed in the public report that will be transmitted to the Congress by David Weiss whenever he feels like it's an opportune time to transmit that report.
But Merrick Garland, he didn't even realize if he had contact with the FBI about Hunter Biden. I mean, he couldn't answer any questions, or he chose not to. It was so frustrating watching that. It was just, and he reminds me of a troll.
Well, something else that Spart said that I, just sort of, again, general statement of principle here. The perspective of, we've long talked in this era in America of, boy, it's really particularly interesting to hear from people who've lived under totalitarian regimes and the comparisons they're drawing between where they came from and what some of the people in this country would like to do to America. You listen to people immigrated from China to get away from the Chinese communists. As I mentioned, Eastern Europe, Victoria Sparks. I think she might be onto something here. This wasn't a question. She used her 5 minutes to give Merrick Garland a little bit of a lecture, which is long overdue, frankly.
I grew up in a very similar country, Ukraine now. And when I came here as a young person, I believed in the value as an American not to be afraid of my government. But I wanted to tell you, and I want to share with you and get your thoughts on that. Are you aware that a lot of Americans are now afraid of being prosecuted by your department? Are you aware about that? Are you aware of that? I'm just saying, are you aware or not?
I think that constant attacks on the department and saying
no, it's not attacks. Well, let me give you an example.
I don't know.
We talk about January 6th. People.
I'm sorry?
Here, there some people came on January 6th. There probably were some people that came on January 6th here, that had bad intent. But a lot of good Americans from my district came here because they are sick and tired of this government not serving them. They came with strollers and the kids, and there was chaotic situation because the proper security wasn't provided. That's a question that was answered really why. Why we debated for 45 minutes on the floor and didn't stop the debate after the people broke into the Capitol. But these people came, they were throwing the smoke bombs into the crowd with strollers with kids. People were showed up, FBI agent to people's houses. You had in my district, in my town, FBI phone numbers all over the district. Please call that. People are truly afraid. I just want to make sure if you're not aware that you are. And this is a big problem when people are afraid of their own government. And I'll share some other things.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, type in DA. Then a quick comment.
People afraid of their own government. This is something you
So
hear
true.
repeatedly, and a corollary to that. I have to live a different life publicly than I live privately because I have to concern myself with being targeted if I don't hew to the orthodoxy publicly, even if I live a different life privately. That's not a hallmark of a free society. We'll pick up what Victoria Sparks started on January 6th, but first, Bill and Glen Ellen, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, we have a chance to fix these problems in 2024 if we vote the right way. And one of the things that you highlighted today is we need to fix the independent counsel law so that you can drag these idiots up in front of Congress so that they can't hide these investigations behind the independent counsel law. So they can't slow walk them by putting someone in charge who will just hide and say they can't answer the question because it's an ongoing investigation. That dodge has to be fixed. So.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Yeah, I concur. And these sort of open-ended, we're going wherever the facts lead, and we're not on any political timeline. We're on the justice's timeline. No, you're not, actually. Justice's timeline isn't part of a political timeline because it goes to the confidence that American people have in the justice system. So that dodge doesn't work either. And it should no longer be tolerated. I agree with that. On January 6th, she mentioned that how the FBI and DOJ has prosecuted the investigation and literal prosecutions of people involved in the rioting on January 6th, or maybe not even involved. That was something Tom Massey picked up, too, from Kentucky. Particularly against the backdrop of Ray Epps, the infamous Ray Epps. The day before Garland is scheduled to testify before the House Judiciary Committee, they slap Ray Epps with misdemeanor charge.
So deflection. I tell you, timing's everything.
Here's Massey and Garland on J6 and Epps. This was an interesting exchange. Massey started by essentially playing Garland's statements about this 2 years ago when he last testified before this committee.
No personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said the last time.
You've had 2 years to find out. And the day, by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps, and yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet. You've got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach. You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor? The American public isn't buying it.
Garland's response.
In discovery, in the cases that were filed with respect to January 6, the Justice Department prosecutors provided whatever information they had about the question that you're asking. With respect to Mr. Epps, the FBI has said that he was not an employee or informant of the FBI. Mr. Epps has been charged, and there's a proceeding, I believe, going on today on that subject.
The charge is a joke. I yield to the chairman.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just speaking of January 6th and this unknowable issue, whether the FBI had any informants there, how many they had. Merrick Garland doesn't know. Christopher Wray doesn't know.
He knows.
You can't figure it out. No one can find out the answer to that question. Well, former Washington, D.C. bureau chief, the Washington field office chief, Stephen D'Antuono, he testified behind closed doors. He was also former assistant director of the bureau, too. Testified behind closed doors that the FBI had so many paid informants at the Capitol on January 6th, it lost track of the number and had to perform a later audit to determine exactly how many CA, confidential human sources, run by different FBI field offices were present that day.
Well, there you go.
This was behind closed doors to the House Judiciary Committee that his office was aware before the riot that some of the informants would attend to stop the steel rally thrown by President Trump. He only learned after that the informants run by other field offices were also present, along with others who had participated of their own accord. Interesting. So Christopher Wray didn't know that, but the D.C. field office head knew that? Huh. Curious. Merrick Garland didn't know that?
No. He just sat up there and played dumb for hours yesterday.
Matt, Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I currently work on a project. I've got a large group of tradespeople out there, and there's about 9, maybe 10 guys out there who are from various parts of Eastern Europe, including, Russia, but then Czechoslovakia, Ukraine, Poland, who are constantly talking about how this country is disintegrating into Marxism and most likely communism. And they were talking about scenarios in which they lived and equated them to what is currently happening now. And it's scary. And the good thing is that younger people are starting to listen up, because it's not just one person talking about it. There's many people talking about it from various parts of the country who are equating their experiences under communism to what is happening now. And some guys opening to the.
Yeah, we lost you, Matt, but we got the gist of it. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that. Coming up at 5:38, along the score of losing the country to a government that operates adverse to the interests of a free people, the situation at the border. Northern Mexico coming across into Texas, 4,000 Venezuelan immigrants, Haitian immigrants overrunning the checkpoint at southern Mexico, and they're making their way up. Bill Malugan has the story, 538.
And it must be nice. Those tent cities also include 3 meals a day, laundry, and there's so much more. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
68 degrees at 5:32. 9 Memphis deputies indicted in the death of a black man held in custody. Gershon Freeman, who apparently ran naked from a cell while suffering a psychotic breakdown. During yesterday's news conference, the sheriff in Memphis revealed the deputies had been indicted and put on paid leave. A new proposal by House Republican leaders to avoid a government shutdown appears this morning to be winning over some GOP hardliners. We get the very latest on lawmakers that may end up working through the weekend with Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
Trial is set for October of next year.
Meantime, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will be in Washington today, meeting with President Biden at the White House.
Ukrainian soldiers now are doing, at the expense of their blood, what the UN Security Council should do by its voting. They're stopping aggression and upholding the principles of the UN Charter.
The visit comes as Congress is currently weighing the president's request to approve more than $20 billion in additional aid, but Poland will no longer provide weapons to Ukraine because of a growing dispute over grain. Ukrainian President Zelensky singled out Poland in his remarks at the UN. Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia now have extended a ban on Ukrainian grain. Attorney General Merrick Garland is being accused of weaponizing the Justice Department to attack conservatives. Texas Congressman Chip Roy grilled the Attorney General on the FACE Act, which criminalizes protests that block access to abortion centers.
Enforcement of the FACE Act has been biased towards pro-lifers over anti-life protesters, 126 to 4.
He wants the FACE Act wiped off the books. The argument is that it's really no longer needed since the court overturned Roe v. Wade. The man charged in the murder of a Los Angeles County deputy has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Sheriff Robert Luna said Wednesday that public interest in the case is high.
There is public interest in that, but right now our priority is to get this individual prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Deputy Ryan Klinkenbroomer's fiancée, Brittany Lindsay, gave an emotional speech ahead of the sheriff. Powerball jackpot up to $725 million, if that's for you. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple and their two children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma.
I never would have suspected a thing from him. He was a very nice man. He spoke to us we had conversations. I helped him find his dog. He had children. So when I found out, I was extremely shocked.
32-year-old Nathaniel Huey of Streamwood tried to elude authorities after a digital license plate detector spotted the vehicle in Katosa, Oklahoma. But he crashed that vehicle and it caught fire. Police say a woman inside the Huey vehicle later died at an Oklahoma hospital. 11 are hurt after a CTA bus crashes on the southwest side midday yesterday at the corner of 51st and Pulaski. And the city of Chicago is taking Monsanto to court for allegedly contaminating its waterways. City claims the ag chemical giant and three of its corporate successors released polychlorinated biphenyls into the city's air, water, and soil for years. You may recall PCBs were banned in the late 1970s. Cubs were lit up by the Pirates 13-7, while the White Sox were pounded by Washington 13-3. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Freedom Summit Chicago tickets are now on sale. Join AM 560, The Answer, on November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest for Freedom Summit, featuring Rand Paul, Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, the Illinois Family Institute, and by Alpha Wealth Group.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Cotarinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Cotarinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Cotarinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. A storm is on the horizon. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000, 630-834-6000, or charlesequipment.com.
Ask any old football player or fan, and they'll tell you offense wins games, but defense wins championships. Sean Thompson here, and you know who else knows that. It's Tom Fortino of Alpha Wealth Group. He knows winning doesn't just happen. It's a result of having a good coach who draws up the right strategy and then makes adjustments along the way. So think of Tom as your retirement defensive coordinator, protecting your retirement savings against inflation, market loss, or a pick six from Uncle Sam. With Tom's complimentary retirement roadmap, you'll find out what's working in your game plan or what's not. If you're serious about winning in retirement, call 630-934-1855. Ask for the retirement roadmap. That's 630-934-1855. Or find Tom online at alphawealthgroup.com and listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour right here on AM 560 The Answer, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, RWA, an SEC registered investment advisor. RWA and Alpha Wealth Group are independent of each other. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
540. Let's get a quick update on the roads. The service of the PKF Mueller CPA professionals, business, and financial advisors, experienced and ready to help with record-keeping, cash flow forecasting, budgeting, and more. You can visit online today at pkfmueller.com. Kennedy inbound at 25, O'Hare into the Burn Circle interchange. We are jammed up with stop-and-go traffic already, Nagel into Montrose. Stevenson at 27 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Brake lights already between Ashland and the Ryan Merge. I-57, they have just cleared an accident at Sauk Trail. And 8094 already slowing up this morning, eastbound Klein to Burr. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sunshine. We may have an afternoon passing shower. High 77. Currently 67. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Other than citizen journalists, we have to rely on Bill Malugin. Malugin? Potato? Bill Malugin, I think. Fox News, who's been covering the border for many years now, and so he's got some nice institutional knowledge, nice perspective on what we're seeing today versus
compared to what we had years ago.
Yeah, just in the last, just over time, the last couple of years, the last half a decade. In addition to his contacts at Border Patrol, sort of telling him on background what the real deal is. Well, the real deal is there were some 4,000 Venezuelan migrants at Eagle Pass, Texas, not hiding under a bridge, but seeking refuge under the bridge there that the Haitians had sought refuge under a couple of years ago. And that was just over a couple of hours as people got off a train that somehow brought them close enough to walk across the border into Texas. Here is the reporting there.
Since we saw thousands of Haitians gather under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas, now we've got thousands of predominantly Venezuelans gathering under the bridge here in Eagle Pass, Texas, after we just witnessed a massive illegal crossing this morning. Let's go right to our drone video we shot as we first started witnessing this taking place. An enormous line of migrants crossing illegally here into Eagle Pass this morning, predominantly Venezuelans. We were talking to them as they were crossing illegally from Piedras Negras, Mexico, directly into Texas with little to no resistance. Our producer talking to several of them as they came in, they said they arrived on a train in northern Mexico this morning. They walked down to the border and then just got in the water and crossed illegally into Texas. It has been a complete free-for-all out here in Eagle Pass this morning. We have not seen images like this since Del Rio 2 years ago when I was out there with those 15,000 Haitians. Border Patrol sources telling us several thousand illegal immigrants have crossed here in Eagle Pass this morning. Take a look at the second piece of video we were shooting from the ground as these people started streaming into the country. They are predominantly single adult men filing into the country. A lot of them waving to our cameras, chanting Venezuela. You can hear a boat going by me right now. That is a Border Patrol boat. These boats have had minimal impact. The Mexican military has been deployed on the Mexican side of the river. That did not stop this mass illegal crossing from taking place. It was nonstop for 2 hours, guys. These images you're looking at right now, this wasn't just a 5 or 10 minute window. This went on for 2 hours straight. We're talking thousands of people filing in.
And what you're to take away from that is the following. The border is secure.
Oh, yeah, right.
The border is
because
secure.
Mayorkas is in Eagles Pass. And
That's what Karine Jean-Pierre tells us. The border is secure. This administration has done more to secure the border than any other administration in the history of the country. That's what you're to take away from Bill Malughan's reporting.
I mean, we're under attack. We're being invaded, and nobody seems to care. And once they get here, I don't even know if you want to go over this.
Well, but let's give a bit of more.
Because I'm reading your contract. People.
More expanse on this. So that's what's happening in real time. Yesterday was happening in real time in Eagle Pass as they're coming across the border from northern Mexico. But meanwhile, back at the ranch in southern Mexico, this is going on.
This is Tapachula, Mexico, right on the border with Guatemala, southern Mexico. Masses of Haitian migrants overwhelming a refugee center there, pushing, shoving, stampeding because they want expedited visas to get to the northern part of the country to cross into the United States. Migrants were trampled, officials were trampled, and we're told 2 people were hospitalized as thousands of these Haitian migrants were disruptive and physically forceful in wanting these visas to get to the U.S.-Mexico border.
BLM, Brandon, you may want to order more tents.
Well, we found out yesterday. The contract was signed secretly about a week ago between City of Chicago and Garda World. Everybody, welcome to Garda World! Woohoo! Garda World is in charge of the tents. They got the $29 million contract.
This is a Canadian company.
It's a Canadian company, and they set up tents and yurts.
Yurts. That's nice. Stylish.
Yeah. And this is great because they're going to house anywhere between 200 to 1,400 people. Now, if you when you get into one of these, you're going to have bedding, linens for free. You're going to have.
What's the hold on? What's the thread count on those sheets?
I don't know, but they're high thread counts. Sanitary facilities, restrooms, hand washing stations, showers, laundry, free laundry, and vans that will take you or your children to school every day. And to the doctor, plus 3 meals a day, guaranteed. And if the temperature drops between 40 degrees and 35 degrees, whatever, they're going to heat the tent to 70 degrees.
That sounds great. I've got some questions though about the Garda World cities, communities, the Garda World communities. I mean, the way that this is being described, it's like when you're looking for an assisted living facility for like an elderly parent. So, I just have some questions. I mean, transportation, meals, okay, great. But a bed, you have your own private space, wonderful.
Yeah, there's
what about
if you're sick? There's isolation.
Good healthcare on site.
Healthcare on site.
Well, that's good. That's good.
We're going to clothe you, and this is all our tax dollars. And people in the suburbs, wake up. According to the contract, are you ready? There's going to be at least 6 zones using indoor hard-sided lodging. That's going to be set up throughout Cook County and collar counties like DuPage, Kane, Lake, McHenry, and Will, according to the contract. So this isn't just a Chicago problem.
We're a sanctuary state. It shouldn't
be.
We're a welcoming state. Everybody is going to pitch in because that's what we do.
And the contract did not state where these zones are going to be located, but they're coming.
Well, you can ask your county officials, see if they're partnering with Tony Preckwinkle and the boys and girls in Cook County. I'm sure that you might be surprised to learn the answers to those questions if they're willing to give them.
Well, they signed the contract secretly.
The other questions I have, what about like activities? What kind of activities do they have?
Well, the kids are going to go to school, and that's why, CPS enrollment's up this year. Because the local media did that story yesterday. I'm like, duh, it's up because you have all these migrants that are here. And
Okay,
those kids are going
but
to
for
school.
I mean,
You know,
the kids are going to go to school. You just heard Bill Malugan reporting how most of the thousands of Venezuelans coming over the border are single men, no family. That shouldn't concern you at all. But anyway, so what kind of activities do we have for that? I know for the Venezuelans, their Biden administration has cleared
Yes.
more to get work permits, cleared allowing them to get work permits after a request was made from Mayor Adams there in New York City. That's wonderful. But I mean,
like activities, maybe.
I mean, are there going to be pickleball courts?
You know what? That's a good question.
Is there a community house? I mean,
Shuffleboard on the promenade deck. I mean,
like
I
what
don't
if
know.
what if they want to have is there like a party room for a card game, or if they want to have friends over? Or
This is and free laundry. Did I mention that too? Free laundry. I mean, they're better. They're getting treated better than tax-paying residents.
well,
And each ward is supposed to have 1 to 2 tents. Now you can have a tent with 200 people.
No.
Or you
1
can
to
be in the
2
mega tent
tent
with 1,400.
cities.
Tent cities, yes. Cities, right.
Yeah, that's why you got to order more tents because you're talking about
Thousands.
A few dozen tents to, I guess, a few hundred tents if you're going to accommodate 1,400. But I mean, there were 4,000 people that came across the border yesterday, and sounds like there's a Haitian caravan forming in southern Mexico, in addition to sort of the general free-for-all, as Bill Malugan called it. So we're a welcoming city. We've been a welcoming city so far. New York as well.
Everybody gets dry storage. There's a refrigeration area, too, if you want to store some of your own personal food.
Are they going to have
Yes, sir.
do they have like divvy bikes or scooters they can tool
I'm
around
sure
in?
they'll have that outside. Uh-huh.
What else should we add to the Garter World 10 cities? I mean, to ensure we don't ruin our reputation that we've so diligently earned as a welcoming city.
I think a billiards room. I mean,
I-
or ping pong tables.
I mean, you just don't want any bad Yelp reviews
Right.
from the migrants with respect to our 10 cities. So
Oh, and I think people in the suburbs are waking up today saying, what? They're going to build these in, yes.
No,
DuPage,
there's
Kane, Lake, McHenry, and Will.
But any word on those concrete mushroom bunkers? I prefer the Albanian concrete mushroom bunkers.
Those things are cool, by the way.
Yeah, but my point exactly. Let's be fashion forward. We don't have to do what everybody else is doing. We don't have to make it like a UN refugee camp. Make it, more Cold War era-esque.
Will they have Wi-Fi? Somebody just texted in.
It's a great question.
It's a very, I'm
Yeah.
sure they're going to have free Wi-Fi. Because, if you're a CPS student and you're poor or minority, they offer you free Wi-Fi. So why wouldn't they not
Well,
offer
is
them
there?
free Wi-Fi?
Well, not just free Wi-Fi. There should be a business center as
Oh.
part of the community. We can SimCity this. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Tony's outside.
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. I don't think they thought this through completely with the yurts, okay? The only problem with the yurt is that the hipsters in Bucktown are going to think that Burning Man came to Chicago and they're going to take those things over. That's the problem. That's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good morning.
Thanks
Oh, Dan and Amy, those are 4 things my parents did not get when they legally immigrated to the United States. Good point.
We weren't as welcoming back then. We've become more welcoming.
If only taxpayers could use these benefits. Huh?
George in Naperville.
Dan, are they going to have happy hour, some fine liquor to be served?
Well, I don't know if there are going to be entertainment venues. This is why I was talking about activities. I mean, is there going to be like a karaoke night?
Oh, yeah. Bingo night or such a good deal they have.
Mary Kay, make the entree here. Mary Kay, Western Springs.
Yeah, they ought to open a gym. They should have personal
Yes.
training and group fitness. They need it. They got to be healthy.
I'd recommend a Pilates instructor, Pilates class.
Pilates. All right, I'm in. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll live there. What the heck? It sounds wonderful.
Oh, and base camp.
Give up this place.
Yeah. Garda World is looking right now for a base camp manager.
Mary
Full
Kay?
time. This is for you, girl.
I'll do it.
Skills you have to have camp management, geometry. What?
Geometry?
That's
What in
it
the
says on
world?
the application.
All right.
Okay.
I'll do the gym. I'll manage it. Get a facility. Why can't they should have everything? Everything. It should be
Absolutely.
every single
Hot
thing.
yoga.
Well, that's what I'm
hot
saying.
yoga.
I mean, thanks for the call, Mary Kay. Well, and but there may be some space issues. We may have to eminent domain some adjoining properties, adjacent properties, just to make sure you have tennis and pickleball,
Somebody suggested
basketball,
Oh, yeah.
soccer field. I mean, you need, different people are going to be more inclined to different sports and outdoor activities. Maybe
Yeah,
get
somebody said they have to have
sportsman's club.
Dan and Amy. They have to have video games, Netflix, maybe slot machines.
Well, yeah, I would think cable and the streaming services would be rolled in.
Yeah, because
the
they're going to have
package.
free. They're going to have free internet, and they'll say, "Oh, it's because they need to look for work." Okay, why would you have to look for work? You've got beautiful linens. You have a nice bed. You have 3 meals a day. You're being clothed. You can summon Jeeves the butler. I need to go to the doctor, and little Junior here needs to go to school. Can you drive them? Sure.
George
what else
in
do you need?
George in Odessa, Florida.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy. I just moved out here. It's kind of a slow move, but I know we're making fun of the tents and stuff, but at this point, how is anyone other than a Democratic president? I mean, how are we going to win this election if they're going to start collecting people's names, and now they got bodies to go along with names? It just doesn't look like a very bright future come election time.
Thanks
Because
for the
you know these
Thanks for the call, George. Appreciate it. Well, I mean, that sort of puts a premium on this upcoming election, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Another angle into the importance of this election, and under no circumstances are you allowed not to participate. And I don't mean just by voting, but I do mean including voting. Tom in Oswego.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I don't think the people out here have felt enough pain yet, and we have a long way to go. I heard a survey in New York. I think 70% of the people thought that they were doing a great job on the border, and this is New York. Dan, let me ask you, is it possible to haul the president in front of Congress to answer questions about what the end game with this is and the impact and the cost? We're just getting started. We're talking about tents in cities. What happens when we have to educate, health care, all the welfare,
got that
all the
covered.
Social Security?
Got it covered.
Wow. We need to open our eyes because this is a problem that's going to hit us all but square between the eyes really fast. I wonder
Well,
what happened.
monthly
Thanks for the
operational
call, Tom.
costs. Monthly operational costs are going to run between $2 million to $6 million a month, depending on the size of the yurt.
Big deal. Pass the hat.
Dan and Amy, are they going to have drag queen story hour? Oh.
I would hope at the school. Yeah, I mean, they've already got it at the school, so I guess maybe you want to do something in addition to that on the weekend. Sure, I understand. Arts and crafts and all.
Brunch on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
This is a good deal, yeah.
But for those concerned, first of all, remember we have already been told the border's secure, so
yeah, right.
It's secure. Number one. Number two, we brought this to you yesterday. The Department of Homeland Security, Ali Mayorkas. I mean, is there anyone more competent than him? They've stood up an experts group. They have experts on these issues now. So stop worrying your pretty little heads. The experts are looking at this. Marty in
They're going to
Naperville.
give media tours before they open it up.
Hey, two quick things real quick. If Mike Lindell starts doing commercials in Spanish, we got issues. Number two, they're going to have a giant opening celebration when Tent City opens. They've already hired a band. The band's going to be Foreigner.
Hi-oh.
Hey.
Yeah, Marty.
That's funny.
Speaking of that, like maybe what sort of a protest song? I'm thinking of Steven Van Zant's "I Ain't Gonna Play Sun City." Maybe we could have Oliver Anthony write "I Ain't Gonna Play Tent City." What do you think? Larry Bartlett.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Two suggestions. One, they have to put in state-of-the-art health clubs everywhere. And Amy, you could be hired as the executive director of that program.
Darn right, I could. Volleyball.
And then
they could be the volleyball coach on staff.
yeah, we also have to put in soccer fields at every tent.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Larry. All right, well, I think these 10 cities are coming together nicely. We'll continue to take your calls and texts if you have additional amenities, again, that we can pass along to BLM Brandon. This is the 5th floor for our 10 cities in Chicago because we want Chicago's 10 cities to be the best 10 cities, right? We want to be number one.
Right.
It's
We want to be
competition.
better than New York.
And I think we have a jump on New York and L.A., San Francisco, because we've got city-owned grocery stores coming online. We've got potentially city-owned real estate developments coming online.
But
Maybe city-owned restaurants. So that's a nice synergy.
But people that, they're watching, people that are thinking about coming here illegally, they see this, free food, meals a day.
Well, I know that.
Why not? We're going to come now.
I know. We want them to.
Open border, let's go.
Exactly. Great. The more the merrier, the sooner the better.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is, not a deep policy issue, but it's an important cultural one. What is this business about covering your plate at a wedding? I'm going to have to ask Justin about this. Covering your plate at a wedding.
Today, sunshine and a period of clouds and a passing shower. It's now 6 a.m. WIND Chicago.
President Biden gives some mayors what they've been asking for. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Nearly 500,000 Venezuelans are getting temporary protected status, which mayors and cities overcrowded by a surge in migrants say will let them work legally. Here's Fox's Jill Nato.
The Department of Homeland Security has said the expansion of protected status for Venezuelans was needed because of Venezuela's increased instability and lack of safety. About 472,000 in the U.S. on or before July 31st are now eligible for that status.
Now, many more migrants keep coming.
One of the biggest mass illegal crossings we have ever seen during our coverage of the southern border.
Fox's Bill Malugin in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Many of them telling us they're from Venezuela. All of them telling us they arrived in northern Mexico via train. Thousands of them all at once.
Russia hit Ukraine with a bombardment of missiles overnight, doing damage in numerous cities, including the capital, Kyiv, killing at least 2 people in Kherson. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky asking for more air defense from our allies after spending 2 days at the UN wanting Russia punished for its invasion. He's in Washington this morning asking Congress to approve more military aid. Republican Senator Josh Hawley tells Fox,
"We shouldn't be spending a dime more on Ukraine. We need an accounting of every dime that has been spent so far."
President Biden will give more assistance to Ukraine, meeting with President Zelensky later today. Former President Trump will like this. Big leads in 2 new Fox Business polls and 2 early contest states.
46% of GOP primary voters in South Carolina back former President Donald Trump as the 2024 presidential nominee, followed by former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley at 18%.
The former president also at 46% in Iowa.
Followed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis at 15%. But Haley at 11%, more than double the support she had in the summer.
It's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America's listening to Fox News.
67 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560 The Answer. And good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban couple and their 2 children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma. 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey of Streamwood tried to elude authorities after a digital license plate detector spotted his vehicle in Katosa, Oklahoma, but he crashed that vehicle and it caught fire.
Officers on scene heard 2 noises believed to be gunshots. A female with a gunshot wound was located and removed from the passenger side of the vehicle. A male, also with a gunshot wound, was located deceased in the driver's seat of the vehicle.
Police now say that woman inside the Huey vehicle later died at an Oklahoma hospital. The victims were believed to have been shot between Saturday night and early Sunday. The death of a woman found unresponsive in the city's Grand Crossing neighborhood have been ruled a homicide. Chicago police say that they have a person of interest in custody. The proposed measure to give city workers who earn tips a raise was approved yesterday by a city council committee.
The food that's created, the experience that's created, all that's created by the workers and the labor that do it.
If approved by the full city council next month, tip workers who currently earn $9.48 an hour will get an 8% pay hike on July 1st. Strong opposition remains from some restaurants, bars, and even many tipped workers.
Yes, jobs will be lost, but most concerningly, tip workers will earn less.
Meantime, Mayor Brandon Johnson's controversial plan to put illegal immigrant base camps across the city is moving forward. City signing a nearly $30 million contract with a private security firm for temporary housing. The Bears are losing their defensive coordinator. Alan Williams has resigned from his position, citing health and family reasons. The 53-year-old had been away from the team since last week due to what the organization is classifying as personal reasons. John Deere Harvester laying off employees next month. The company announcing it's informed workers at its East Moline facility about 225 production employees will be placed on indefinite layoff. Cubs lit up hard in a 13-7 loss to the Pirates at Wrigley Field. Now just a half-game lead over Miami for that final National League wildcard spot. White Sox gave up 3 home runs in a 13-3 loss to Washington. The news a service of the Pride Stores, 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest location, the Pride of Kane County in St. Charles, Kirk, Maine, for weekly grand opening specials and exciting raffles. Pride Stores, not your typical convenience store. And a check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk sees big changes to once great institutions.
The ACLU, the SPLC, the ADL, these are formerly civil rights groups. These are groups that used to fight for decency and goodness and free speech. And they don't believe in any of that stuff anymore. No, it's all about waging war on, quote-unquote, the neo-fascist right.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Raj Shah, host of Unleash Your Wealth.
You know, there are a lot of clients and people coming in from the radio into our office saying, I don't want to lose any money. I need to protect the money I have saved over the last 20 or 30 years, where you have strategies where you can structure an income stream where it has an inflation protection so that as inflation, if it continues to go up, your income will go up.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, this just in, Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. They provide mortgage-free homes for fallen first responder families, Gold Star families, and catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. In 2023, they are providing housing assistance and services to more than 2,000 of America's homeless veterans. Do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
If you want to remodel your home, there's the easy way or the frustrating way. Rick here from Forever Remodeling, and the frustrating way is how most people remodel their homes. They hire an architect and an interior designer and a builder separately. But when multiple companies work on your job, communication is a mess. Costs balloon beyond budget, and no one takes accountability if an issue pops up. Don't be like most homeowners. Choose the easy way, the Forever Remodeling way. We handle your entire remodel in-house, your blueprints, design, and construction. When every expert is under one roof, you get clear communication, total accountability, and a stunning one-time on-budget final result. Want to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, finish your basement, build an addition? Choose the easy way. Choose the Forever Remodeling way. For a free consultation, call 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number foreverremodeling.com.
6:08, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Jumping on the Edens this morning, it's a 22-minute commute. Lake Cook Road to the junction, the Kennedy at 31, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Kennedy outbound already 30 minutes back out to the big airport. The Ike at 37, 390 to the old post office. Stevenson accident with a left lane block inbound at Harlem Avenue. Bishop Ford stop and go traffic between 130th and the Ryan Merge. The Reagan stop and go eastbound between Roosevelt and the Tri-State. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Today, periods of clouds and sun, a passing shower. High today at 77. Clouds and a bit of rain tonight, low 64. Morning shower tomorrow, then partly sunny with a high 78. Partly sunny, warmer Saturday, the high 81. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by IDT. Eliminate paper files with the IoT Smart Connected Scanning Device. Find them at ready4IDT.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. This is one of those small C cultural touchstones that we like to explore. At least I do. See if you do. Covering your plate at a wedding. You go to a wedding, if you either buy a gift from the registry that's at least as much as your meal cost, or you write a check or give cash for at least as much as your meal cost. Is that a thing?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Our text.
I was talking to somebody at your show getting married. I'm like, yeah, our technical producer, Justin. I say, are you going to the wedding? No, I don't go to
No,
weddings.
you're going to go to, you've got to go to the wedding.
I don't go to weddings. I don't like weddings. There's nothing about
Well,
a
I don't
wedding
think
like.
Justin likes weddings either.
Well, that's his choice. He's made the choice, and now he has to live with it.
Okay.
But that's how I view weddings, by the way, too.
Gino Love is patient.
Yeah, not exactly poetic. But anyway, so yeah, so I said I'm going in the form of a check, right?
Uh-huh.
And so you got to at least cover your plate. Is that that's what it said?
You got to cover the plate.
What?
I recently was at a wedding, and somebody I know.
How much is a meal at your wedding cost, Justin?
Yeah, Justin. Well, so they brought 5 people, they gave a check for $500 to cover the plate.
Meal's only $100 at a wedding.
But I don't know. But then there's an open bar, and you got to factor all that in. Is there?
Is that covering your plate? Is that covering your plate? Do you have to factor in like how much vodka would I drink there, and I got to factor that in too, plus the meal.
Yeah.
Would I have dessert? I got to factor that in.
Factor that. Do they have a dessert table? I mean, is it a buffet? Is it sit down? Is it?
How much do I need to? If I do the chicken dance, do I have to kick in for the DJ? Is that factored in covering your plate too? So I mean, this covering your plate can be narrowly interpreted or expansively interpreted, and I need some guidance here. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. What's the wholesale price on a meal? Your wedding.
Beth might correct me, but I'm thinking it's about $78 a plate we got quoted for.
He was about to say 75, and he kicked it at $3.
I know. So he's going to get a check now for $78.50 for me.
Well, yeah, right. You can't do that either.
No, because that looks weird.
Especially somebody who makes all the money that you make and gets all the welfare benefits that you get.
And I'm moving into the yurt.
Yeah. Right. You're going to be living rent free in a yurt in Tent City.
Prepared. I want to have laundry for free. Now, can you imagine not even have to pay a bill? Oh, that's nice.
All right. So fast forward.
But Mike Scott, your son recently got married.
Mm-hmm.
What was
how much do the meals cost?
Hard to say because as the father of the groom, we don't pay that bill. However, we did
another cultural touchstone.
There you go. We did pay the bill for the
rehearsal dinner.
How much was that a plate?
That was about. It's a little different, but it was about $48.
A plate, okay.
Yeah, and then we had a separate bill for we didn't have an open bar, but we had a double ticket bar.
Oh, okay.
Now, does covering the plate, I'm just trying to think what this includes. Does it also include, do I got to tip out everybody? Do I got to factor in my percentage of the tipping out of everybody to cover my plate?
Well, the parents do. That's factored in.
Right.
Look, you're a guest.
Yeah.
If you're invited to Justin's wedding, you're a guest. You are not expected to cover the cost of you being a guest at an event put on by Justin and Brittany, the beautiful wife. This is not your responsibility, especially if you're bringing a guest. You are not supposed to cover the plate. You are a guest at an event. Not a paying.
You can cut the tension. You can cut the tension with a knife. Now look at Justin.
You're not
normally
going to a
smiley
movie.
face.
You're not going to a concert.
He's about to be brought to tears. Might go easy.
You are not responsible for covering
I do not
plate,
agree at all.
and you are wrong, 100%.
All right. Now we got it going on. I thought this might happen.
Justin, you've been to a lot of weddings lately because you're in that age group. Do you cover the plate?
I agree with Mike, but I also customarily give about $100
There
as
you go.
cash as the gift, so it usually kind of balances
Yep.
itself out.
Oh, see what he's doing? He's trying to pump up. Oh, if poor little Justin gives $100 when he goes to weddings, what's Prof supposed to give? Yeah, right. I see what you're doing.
So you're really not gonna go to his
$78. I give $100. I mean, I'm going to be in the thousands before this segment's over. But anyway, go ahead.
Then you got to tip the bartender. I mean, people do tip the bartender.
Well,
At weddings, you have to.
There's a
depends
philosophical
if there's
divide I'm getting to. Is it do you have to cover the plate? Is that proper etiquette to cover the plate? Or if you don't, if you just freeload, then that's fine.
Or you could buy something off the registry that's
that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
You don't have anything cheaper than $100 on your registry.
We did, and we thank all the people who gave gifts under $100. We definitely appreciate that more than
I want to be appreciated.
Yeah.
The only thing left, you've got some
we
dog treat while you're gone. Your dog somersault or backflip, whatever its name is. You shoot out the dog treat. That's $150. Is it still on the registry? I guess I'll get you that.
Yeah.
Dan helps me out.
We'd appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He appreciates the people that got him gifts for less than 100, and he appreciates the people that got him gifts for more than 100, even more. Glenn in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, if you do the chicken dance and it's videotaped, I'll cover the plate.
All right, fair enough. Thank
Darn
you.
tootin'. Agree.
Thank you. Clay in Libertyville. He's a young man who just got married.
Morning, Dan. I'll also help cover that plate too if you do the chicken dance.
Boy, it's like GoFundMe. Yeah. All right.
So I got married last year. Me being raised Catholic household, you always cover the plate plus a little more. Just a little gift to help them get going. Always cash, never a check or anything like that. Always do cash. But we did have friends that showed up that did not give anything. And these are people who, are both working, both have jobs, and could have given something at least to cover their plate.
And they're no longer friends.
Well, wait, wait. You have a year to give a gift. You have up until a year.
A year. I had my 1 year.
What?
I had my 1 year in July, so we're past this deal now, Amy. But now they're getting married. And I told my wife, I am not giving a gift. They're, tit for tat here. So she's like, no, that's not proper. We should still give a gift. I said, no, I'm not going to give a gift.
Well, here's what you do in the card, Clay, and to be the bigger man, but not such the bigger man. You say, enclosed, despite the fact that you didn't get us anything, I thought it was important to celebrate your day that I provide this assistance to you, and I hope you all live forever in shame. Yes.
I enjoy that. Thank you, Mr. Prof.
Yes. All right.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks for the call, Clay. A year. Oh, right.
You have a year.
Somebody's not going to give you a gift in advance of the wedding, but they've got it on a calendar. They're going to slow walk you.
I have a year. I'm getting my nephew and his beautiful wife a gift in
that's
Thanksgiving.
Fairly normal etiquette. You have up to a year to either get something off the registry or get a gift.
Well, what about we had to fly
year? I mean, you want this hanging over your head for a year?
I mean, it costs thousands of dollars to get there. Buy suits.
Well,
we're out thousands.
The destination wedding is a little bit different.
No.
Or if you have to, travel, do like international travel to go to a wedding because it's a family member, that may be a little bit different.
Well, do I give less because I had to buy 3 flights and rent 2 rooms or
no?
Okay.
That's on you. I mean, it's
asking.
this is all voluntary, by the way. the people getting married, people attending. You know, I'm volunteering to not attend, except in the form of a check. See, but I mean, you know, so it's not. Of course, people can do what they want, but it's like, what is proper? Who is going to be looked at as violating societal norms? That's what I want to know.
Where this becomes really sticky is when brides are now asking bridesmaids to cover their plate. After the bridesmaid has already bought a dress, paid for hair, paid for makeup, paid for transportation, usually flying in for those weddings, which is probably the second or third wedding if they're a big group of girlfriends they've already been to this year and paid for to get to. That's where
and then they have the bachelorette parties, destination bachelorette parties.
And you're buying gifts for that. That's where it gets kind of sticky, and you see Bridezilla come out.
What about the whole thing about like all these big this big production to begin with? I mean, the whole thing, but particularly the wedding. I'm not talking about in a place of worship. I'm not the ceremony. I'm talking about the reception. What is the point of all this? Like, we're going to spend, whatever, I don't know, 25, 50, 100, 150,000. I mean, I've, you know, big numbers, $150,000, and then we're going to hope we get a little bit more than that or some fraction of that back to have a party with some people that we know and some people that we don't, and you just sort of this awkward in this ballroom. And
boy, this is why you are single, man.
Well,
I went to the most gorgeous
It
wedding.
makes no
My
sense.
nephew's wedding was gorgeous. The ceremony, it was a religious ceremony in a church, Justin. And it was beautiful. And the pastor was wonderful.
I'll tell you what, Justin, I'll double what I'll give you if you just elope.
Oh,
It's a standing offer with my boys.
You know, I mean,
if you elope, I've got $10,000 for you.
No.
Yes.
Come on. You
Yeah,
want to be part of
absolutely.
the
Standing offer.
process. It's a rite of passage
how
as
do
a
you-
father
how
to
do you
watch
not
your
take
child
that?
get married.
How do you not take that? That's exact. The whole thing is.
It's kind of for fun, but it's kind of serious too.
Well, the
I
whole
will
thing.
never forget when Terry Savage, I was in the makeup room at Channel 5, and she said, "What are you doing? I heard how much you're spending on your wedding. Are you crazy? Put that down payment on a house. It's probably not going to work out anyway."
Exactly.
And
And she
Allison
was
Rosati
right.
was like, "Terry, that
Prophetess.
is so
Yeah.
rude. You shouldn't say that. It's so
Yeah.
mean. She's going to be a beautiful bride." And Terry Savage was right.
It's why a lot of brides and grooms are downscaling the reception now. They're doing barn receptions, just serving barbecue and just doing that because they want the event, but they're starting to downscale that a little bit. And I think it's been a pretty positive trend, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just.
How about here? We got a text message: the black tie weddings, where then you have to rent a tuxedo.
Well,
Oof.
excuse me. What are you, a farmer? How do you not own a tuxedo? Good grief. What is going on with our listeners? Somebody has to rent a tuxedo to listen to this show?
Stop it.
Matt on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. My parents used to always say that. They would say, well, if somebody's getting married somewhere nicer, maybe we should give a little more. And then they changed that. They decided, you can't pay for somebody else's wedding. So generally, they give a little bit better of a gift if they know the person. It depends on how close they are to the person.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
one more thing I wanted to point out. Dan, do not worry about doing the chicken dance at weddings. I think you better get ready to do the Macarena.
Okay, thanks for the call. What's the other one that they do? Those group dances that are so insufferable.
Oh.
Macarena, the
The
chicken
Iggy
dance,
Piggy Heart.
Cha-cha slide.
cha-cha
Oh yeah,
slide.
slide
That's
to
it.
the left. Yeah, we did crisscross. Everybody, clap your hands.
Stop it. Just stop. This is exactly why I don't go to weddings, and I don't want to be around people. Libby and
If Rerun were there, you'd go.
well, Fred Berry were there. I'd
Yeah.
go just to see him dance.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean that's the other thing. The entertainment's rarely ever good. It's just a DJ. I mean, I can listen
Fun
to the.
though to dance.
I
with
can
your
listen to these songs.
kid,
I
watch
get,
the bride and groom dance.
I
And
don't.
then the
No,
first
who
dance.
cares? What?
The mother and
watch a
son.
slow dance. Watch a bunch of people who can't dance and sit around and wait
Boy,
for
are
your
you salty.
creme brulee and then get the hell out of there as fast as you. I mean, I just don't understand what's fun about it. And
Oh
by the way, a lot of guys actually believe this. They just can't say it, but I can.
Well.
Barbara and Aurora, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello, good morning. I don't know where these people are having their receptions that they're paying $75 a plate or $45 a plate. That is unrealistically low. it's more like 200 or 250 a plate if you're having a big wedding at a banquet hall. And I'm also raised Polish Catholic, and if you definitely cover your plate, and then you give a little bit more as the gift.
Yeah, I have. Thanks for the cover. I mean, I have no. I have no problem. I will give Justin.
What are you going to give him?
I'll get him
1,000
air, but I will give him a responsible amount of money.
Can I go in on the gift with you?
Yeah, this is from both of us. Yeah.
Like I
One
do
of
with
those,
Christmas.
right?
It's
Yeah,
from
there's
both
only,
of us.
There's only one name signed on the check, but
I'll
it's for
sign.
both of us. Don't worry about it. No, so that's not the issue. Is not like paying out. I have no problem paying out. The issue is just I just want to understand what the cultural norm is. Like what is a transgression and what is not, a faux pas and what is not.
We got to get Libby in Munster. That is so cute.
Libby Munster.
Cute.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah.
Amy, at first, this is the Georgia Tech spouse, so go Tech.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, my husband and I were married in 1967 in North Florida. After the wedding, we had a table in the back of the church. It was a Methodist church. We had nuts and mints and punch, and the bridesmaids put their bouquets on the table for the centerpiece.
That is
that was
beautiful.
And how much did you charge people for that?
Walking in the door.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Libby. Appreciate it. See, why can't
Back
you?
when times were simple.
Why can't you just have a simple thing like that?
That was my wedding.
Yeah, people, right.
Just a little more elaborate than that with a cake, but not much.
Actually, the few weddings I've been to down in Central and Southern Illinois, particularly Southern Illinois, where they do it like at the Knights of Columbus Hall, and they just have like a simple like buffet, but it's great food, fried chicken, comfort food stuff. That's
Those
fine.
are fun
That's
weddings.
simple. That's easy.
My cousin in Cartersville, Illinois, we went to her wedding, and it was just
going to something like
beautiful.
going to
So
like the
nice.
peninsula for a hotel or something like that.
Ugh.
Oh my, what an ordeal! Ugh.
When was the last wedding you've been to? You're very PTSD.
Mm.
Do you remember? Or you've successfully avoided them all these
I'm pretty
years?
good at it. Pretty good at it because I just say things like this. I'm not going. And I'll write a check or
Why
something like
can't
that.
you go to Justin's wedding? It's Justin.
I
mean,
think
you've been here. You watched him become a man, getting tattooed.
I made
getting
him a
married.
man.
You made him.
Um,
He's ditching the skateboard soon. I mean, come
no,
on.
I'm happy for his maturation, but late October it's too cold for me here. I can't stand. I'm an old man. I need to.
Naples bound.
Sean and Darian.
Dan, you are spot on. There's only 52 Saturdays in a year, and they are very precious. Precious to me also. You're a very lucky guy. Thanks.
Thanks for the call, Sean. It's a good way to
You're a
look at it.
lucky guy.
52 Saturdays.
That's true.
You can't be frittering those away. Greg Schomburg.
Dan's feigning that he doesn't want to go, Justin, is his real statement that he wants to be the paid celebrity there. So float him a couple hundred and he'd go. But after yesterday, you must factor in the Amy leading the dance routine.
Yes.
Oh,
Justin.
yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Greg must have seen your Fred Berry impersonation.
So embarrassing. I
What?
can't believe you talked me into doing that.
It's all right. I mean, it was it was a game effort, off the cuff, with no time
Text
to
message,
prep.
Dan, you don't want to go to weddings because you might meet the love of your life there.
Yeah, right. Not in the circles I travel. Jim in Rockford.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. This is my favorite subject. I always ask people who've had weddings, what was your best gift and your worst gift? But my mom always said back in the day at weddings, they would hold the card till the end of the wedding, and if they weren't having a good time, they'd be taking money out of the card. So you could. So my mom said at her wedding, she had a family of 5 that came. They only gave $5.
Wow, not fun. I like that. I mean, what if the fillet is cold, and you want me to pay $150 for that?
I went to a wedding where the bride had a silk bag that matched her dress, and when you walked in, she's like, "Hello," and she just opened up the bag to put the card in with the money. So tacky.
Oh, is that tacky?
Oh.
Honestly, the whole cover your plate.
So tacky.
I've
How
never
are you?
I've never even thought about the cost of the meal, like in terms of what I give. I've never heard that before.
Mine was $150 a plate, and that was in 2003.
But you knew of this cover the plate thing? Well, you've been married 5 or 6 times, so I assume
22 times.
Yeah, I assume you.
I've covered a lot of plates, Dan.
But you knew about this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I told Natalie Martinez to cover her plate when I invited her to my wedding.
Did you really?
I did. Isn't that awful?
Why'd you have to tell her? What's wrong
Well,
with Natalie
because
Martinez?
I don't know. She was young. I don't know. I love Natalie.
What did you tell Anna Devlantes?
Cover her plate. No, I didn't have to tell her. She knew.
Oh, she's Greek.
She knew.
The Greeks know.
She knew.
Yeah.
That's where you spend $200 a plate.
Yeah, right.
And one of those, and you give gold
got
at
married
those.
at the
Is I think it's Greek. You also give gold either at the reception before or at the wedding reception.
The
if
only
I remember right.
Though I would like to go to. I'd like to see in person like weddings that are very that have like a unique ceremonial features, like an Indian wedding.
Yeah,
I would like to.
I've been to one of those. That was very fun.
I would like to see like something like that. That would be. I mean, like something that's really
Beautiful.
culturally different than
Indian
just going
weddings
to.
last 3 days, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they're
whatever.
huge, like Bollywood.
But
They're
you want
huge
something
affairs.
culturally different than the normal like honky wedding in the suburbs.
Yeah, I had a nephew in Dallas who rode into his wedding on an elephant. He married a Hindu doctor in suburban Dallas.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
See, I'd pay for that.
Yeah,
I'd pay for that show.
That was quite a scene.
That's so cool.
James in Westmont.
Wow, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, ours was, Dan, growing up Catholic, how would you not go to weddings as a kid?
Cried,
Like,
cried through
we
tantrums, ran away from home.
I guess so.
Fake
Because,
sickness.
yeah, ours was really casual. In fact, the Abington over in Glen Ellen is where our reception was.
Yeah,
So
Abington's a good
very,
spot.
very nice spot actually. My parents were really impressed because my dad was in the Air Force when they got married. They had a quick ceremony, and then they had their dinner at the Home Run Inn. The original Home Run Inn.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that too.
That was cool.
Good pizza.
Had a quick text message. How many migrants is Justin inviting to his wedding?
Yeah. All right, we'll just leave that there.
Today's the day, by the way. Each Thursday in September, we're
uh-huh.
partnering with the Pride stores to give away $50 gift cards at one Pride store location each week. Today's location is, should I say this? Yes. The Pride of Palatine, 1400 West Algonquin Road in Palatine. That is the corner of Algonquin and Roselle Roads in Palatine. And here's the deal. We're giving away gift cards between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning, so you have a half-hour warning. The first 56 customers who pump at least 5 gallons of gas, once we give away 56 cards, then we're done for the week, and you can try again next week. Again, it is at the Pride of Palatine,
I thought the Pride of-
1400 West Algonquin Road.
I thought the Pride of Palatine was Jim Schwantz. Hi-oh.
Former mayor, right?
Current mayor.
He was,
Current mayor, right?
Yeah, and former bearer.
Also,
Yeah,
when you come out this morning to fill out, make sure to stop inside the Pride convenience store for an amazing selection of fresh food and beverages, including TCBY yogurt.
Will
fresh
Jim
brewed-
Schwantz be there?
Fresh brewed coffee. We can call him Schwani. Iced tea, breakfast sandwiches. The Pride store is not your typical convenience store.
All right, coming up at 6:36. Is this how they celebrate volleyball games in CPS after your team wins, Amy? We'll find out. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
67 degrees, 632. Russian missiles pounding cities in Ukraine early this morning, starting fires, killing at least 2. The early morning missile attack was Russia's largest in more than a month, and comes a day after major sabotage at a Russian military airfield near Moscow. Automakers are laying off more employees because of the UAW strike this morning. Chrysler company Stellantis sent workers home at its factory in Perrysburg, Ohio, and will lay off employees in Kokomo, Indiana. 9 Memphis deputies indicted in the death of a black man being held in custody. During Wednesday's news conference, Sheriff Floyd Bonner said he fully supported their actions but didn't believe anyone of them caused the death of the inmate.
Let me be clear.
No actions by any Shelby County Sheriff's Office employee caused Mr. Freeman's death. The medical examiner plainly said that he died from a pre-existing heart condition.
Bonner made the indictments public. The deputies are on paid leave. Big news in the electronics market this morning. Toshiba says a $14 billion takeover offer from a private equity firm, Japan Industrial Partners, has been successful. The announcement in Tokyo Thursday paves the way for the electronics and power station maker to go private. It returns Toshiba to Japanese domestic ownership after years of battles with activists and overseas shareholders. A new proposal by House Republican leaders to avoid a government shutdown is appearing this morning to have won over some GOP hardliners. Several Republicans have voted against GOP funding on Tuesday. On that bill will reportedly agree to back the new plan, which could come to a vote today. The proposal includes a 30-day stopgap government spending bill. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple from Romeoville and their 2 children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma. Mayor Brandon Johnson's controversial plan to put up illegal immigrant-based camps across the city is moving forward. City signing a nearly $30 million contract with a private security firm. 2 Lake County men are accused of gun running. Cesar Morales and Augustin Prado face multiple gun charges. Cubs pitchers were lit up to the tune of 15 hits in a 13-7 loss to the Pirates at Wrigley. White Sox lost to the Nationals 13-3. The news, a service of MyPillow. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. For a limited time, 50% savings with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains big government.
My old phrase, the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen, is one of the truisms of the human condition. All the genocides of the 20th century, the most genocidal century in human history, were committed by big governments. There's nothing good about big government.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
To say he lived an interesting life is an understatement. Father Dwight Longnecker is a Catholic convert with a fascinating story. And Saturday, October 21st, he's coming to St. James at Sagbridge Church to share his story, his insights on today's world, and a mysterious imaginary line linking 7 monasteries from Ireland to Israel. Don't miss Morning of Recollection, featuring Father Longnecker, a prolific writer, blogger at Standing on My Head, and author of numerous books including Beheading Hydra and Immortal Combat. Be inspired with a plan to battle the cultural currents of our day and hear a fascinating presentation on the Sword of St. Michael, the imaginary line linking 7 monasteries. This one-time event is Saturday, October 21st from 9 a.m. until 12 noon at St. James at Sagbridge Church in Lamont, 10600 Archer Ave, corners of Route 83 and Archer Avenue. To sign up, go to historicstjames.org. Seating is limited. That's historicstjames.org to reserve your spot at Morning of Recollection with Father Longnecker.
Imagine you're on the couch in your living room and one of your kids or grandkids excitedly pulls on your arm, urging you to come play. But instead of feeling exhausted, you practically jump off the couch. To make sure you're keeping up with them, it's crucial to fuel your body with whole fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, most people don't get enough of these nutritious foods. That's where Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies can help. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies provides your body with the additional nutrition it needs, helping you to embrace all of life's greatest moments with energy. Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month! Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-2468-751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
All right, this just in, Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
6:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. Double. Cash back from trips, restaurants, all double. See terms and check it out for yourself. Discover.com/match. Inbound Eden, solid already. 29 in Lake Cook Road to the junction. It's over an hour, about 65 minutes from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange on the Kennedy inbound commute. 47 on the Ike from 390 to the old post office. Stevenson settling in at 52 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Slow between LaGrange Road and Kedzie due to an earlier accident. And the Ryan at 25 minutes, 95th into the Circle. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun this morning. Passing shower this afternoon. High 77. 67 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. On AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
All right, today is Thursday, and every Thursday in September, we're partnering with the Pride Stores to give away $50 gift cards at one Pride Store location each week. Today's location is the Pride of Palatine, 1400 West Algonquin Road. It's at the corner of Algonquin and Roselle Roads in Palatine. Here's the deal. We're giving away the gift cards between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning to the first 56 customers who pump at least 5 gallons of gas. Once we give away 56 cards, and we're done for the week, and you can try again next week. And when you come out to fill up, make sure to stop inside the Pride Store for their amazing collection of fresh food and freshly brewed coffee. Again, the Pride of Palatine, 1400 West Algonquin, and good luck.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I haven't played volleyball in a while, since I was in gym class in high school.
No, you played on one of our trips, remember? You were pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I was mildly impressed.
I'm just a natural athlete.
You're a good athlete. You are definitely an athlete. I'm not going to deny you that.
But I'm not a somebody who's been involved in the sport. I haven't coached. All these things. So I don't know how it goes when you and I only watch, you watch it on TV like everybody. You just watch beach volleyball in the Olympics. That's about it.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, the Nebraska game.
The Nebraska game?
Yeah, remember when they sold out the stadium? World record.
Yeah.
A world record.
Well, so is this something that you've seen? I'm just curious because you coach girls.
And boys.
Uh-huh.
At the varsity level, thank
you. Yeah. Well, this was a girls' volleyball team, women's volleyball team in São Paulo, Brazil. The girls' volleyball team for Santa Amaro University. Mm-hmm. After they won the volleyball championship, there were men that were watching them.
Men tend to do that because it's women's volleyball.
Mm-hmm. They came on the court with their pants down and
What?
appear to perform what is being described as a group masturbation celebration. Is that normal in the sport? I'm not familiar.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. This is like risen to the level of the president of Brazil, Lula, discussing unacceptable episode of behavior of young people who are at the university who intend to be doctors and take care of people. They're med students.
Quite the stress release, huh? Let's go to a volleyball game. Oh, yeah.
Dr.
Oh, that's so gross.
Dr. Cocktoson. So this is now being investigated by police.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess indecent exposure.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Lewd behavior.
And of course, it's making international news. Thus, it's come to you from us.
Is there video of this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of games are streamlined.
There is
live.
video of it, and you see the guys. The private
now
area.
I'm looking it up.
The private areas are
Pixelated?
out, but you can tell that their pants are down. It's sort of like it's like I don't.
And this is at the collegiate level or high school level?
They're med students.
Oh my God.
Santa Amaro University in São Paulo, Brazil. How do you normally celebrate when your team wins?
We're very
Or
humble.
what about the fans?
The fans, sometimes if it's a close game, they can storm the court, but not anything.
Wait, with
like,
not ever with their pants down?
No, they're fully clothed. Yes.
I just didn't know if this was if
I don't
Brazilian
even know how
authorities
to
were
Google
overreacting.
this. How do I Google this? Brazilian women's volleyball celebration.
6 university students expelled after disgusting group masturbation celebration video goes viral.
Okay, slower, please.
Pretty straightforward. I think if you do masturbation celebration and volleyball, I don't know if you're going to get a lot of hits on that. I think you could probably zero in on it pretty fast. I don't even.
Expelled. Why would they even think to do that?
I don't know. I don't know if this.
Problem.
I don't know if this was something that was.
Oh my God.
Intended to be misogynistic. I mean, it seemed to go in that direction, but I don't. Or they just decided to do this as a prank, or this is doesn't seem to be something that's accepted by the larger culture based on the reactions you're getting from every quarter in Brazil to this. But I just, you're watching it? You're seeing it?
Yeah, and you can't unsee it.
Have you seen anything like that before?
I've never seen. Oh my, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's sort of a group masturbation celebration. I think there's a sort of a, yeah.
And there's other people watching them do it in part of the circle.
The allegedly fans looked on in horror, but I'm not so sure that's completely accurate.
I don't think that that's accurate. No.
Mm-hmm. The medical school released a statement. Institution with more than 55 years of history vehemently repudiates this type of behavior, completely antagonistic to its history and values. I don't know. I'll let you take that in.
Why? Their pants are around their ankles.
Yeah.
And they're running with their pants around their ankles onto the court and then pleasuring themselves.
Well, if you do a group masturbation celebration, you're
That's-
going to have to drop your pants.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
No spin, no agenda, just news. That is what the Center Square gives readers every day, covering vital issues like crime, border policies, and education. The Center Square focuses on holding state and federal government accountable to you, the American taxpayer. Sign up for your state's Center Square newsletter at thecentersquare.com. No spin, no agenda, just news. That's thecentersquare.com.
Listen up. Does your business have a problem that needs fixing? Whether you need to change your financial picture, strengthen your leadership team, or help with IT management, Turnkey has solutions. Make Turnkey your small business partner and get ready to streamline success. Inflation and economic downturn don't have to impact your business with the right partner. And now until September 30th, Turnkey is offering the first and last month of services at no cost. That's right. Sign on with Turnkey for any of their IT or business solutions, and your first and last months are free. You'll save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. With decades of C-suite experience from their consulting team to over 25 years of managed IT services, Turnkey knows small business. They know how to reduce your costs, grow new revenue streams, and more without having to hire on-site professionals. Folks, there's still time to make an impact the second half of the year. Let Turnkey show you how. Turnkey is Chicago's small business champion. Visit turnkey.pro and start a conversation today. That's turnkey.pro.
Hi, it's Randy Donnelly from Donnelly Auctions in Union, Illinois, and I want to talk to you about your unused basement rec rooms. We all had them back in the 60s and 70s with jukeboxes, pinballs, and slot machines, Coca-Cola signs, and even gas pumps. We all had a great time in those days, but fast forward, and I'll bet you haven't gone down there in years. That's where I can help by turning those items into cash through Donnelly Auctions. We have thousands of customers online eager to bid on your items, and it's easier than you might think. Just give me a call at 815-923-7000, and I'll make those items fit in your wallet. Look us up online at DonnellyAuctions.com to see all of the items that we can sell for you. Give me a call today at 815-923-7000, and don't forget to check out the Donnelly Auctions Hour Saturdays at 1 o'clock on AM 560. Subscribe and check out the podcast too. I'm Randy Donnelly, and I'll see you at the auction.
Let's take a quick call on the masturbation celebration after that volleyball victory in Brazil. Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, good morning. I'm wondering what the problem is. I mean, I've done that after watching a chess tournament. Of course, I was the only one out there doing it, but you got to support the team.
Yeah, right. Right. Not my first group masturbation celebration. Sure. All right. You can shed that fat, be slimmer for the summer. No more wearing cover-ups or T-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. No shots, no hormones, no surgery. You'll lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose the weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you're burning fat, not just losing water. And you even get Dr. T's personal email and phone number. Locations, NJ Diet has locations close by in Skokie and Oak Brook, or is available from home with live online video consultations. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
Hi, folks. Dennis Prager here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and me talking about investing with YRefi for a while now. You may have some questions, so let's review. It's true. You can earn up to a 10.25% fixed rate of return that is not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There is no attack on principal if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investYRefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then refi, REFY.com. Or call 888-YRefi24. Folks, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investYRefi.com or call 888-YRefi24 and tell them Dennis Prager sent you.
Imagine you're on the couch in your living room and one of your kids or grandkids excitedly pulls on your arm, urging you to come play. But instead of feeling exhausted, you practically jump off the couch. To make sure you're keeping up with them, it's crucial to fuel your body with whole fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, most people don't get enough of these nutritious foods. That's where Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies can help. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies provides your body with the additional nutrition it needs, helping you to embrace all of life's greatest moments with energy. Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-2468-751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
School has started. The nights are getting cooler. The sun is getting lower on the horizon every day. Winter is coming and coming fast. Keeping your business's doors and gates working properly to keep out the extreme weather is a major concern. Your business can't afford a loss of income or productivity. Think ahead before Old Man Winter arrives and call Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. for your commercial door maintenance and security tune-up now. You can't always plan when your doors break down, and it always seems to come at the least convenient time. Industrial Door Company will ensure your doors, grills, and gates are working to specification and give you advice on how to increase the life of your doors. See a range of products and services at industrialdoor.com and call anytime 847-258-5620. Their team will be there before the extreme cold weather causes financial losses for your company. Since 1982, the Industrial Door Company of Chicago, Inc. takes care of your doors so you can take care of business. Service and installation positions available now.
FreedomSquare.com's business network is open for business, and you can register your business for free. Business owners, now is the time to step up and take a stand. Start connecting with those that share your values. Register your business for free inside Freedom Square's business network. It's a simple process. Just download the Freedom Square app or log on to FreedomSquare.com. Create your free account, then register your business for free, and you're in. Registering your business is building the foundation of Freedom Square's business network. Freedom Square's goal is to unite, connect, and empower pro-freedom, pro-capitalism, pro-American businesses and their owners. Now is the time to take a stand and let your voice be heard. Tell your family, your friends, and neighbors. Tell them about Freedom Square. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? Take a stand and join us today. Freedom-loving Americans, it's all here at FreedomSquare.com. FreedomSquare.com. Freedom lives here.
You've heard Rumpke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Rumpke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Rumpke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Rumpke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Rumpke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to Rumpke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remkes, REMKES, Garage.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the village elders in Palm Springs, California, thought it might be a good idea to commission a sculpture to memorialize AIDS victims.
Okay. We
It's
have an AIDS garden along the lakefront now by Belmont.
This sculpture in Palm Springs has kind of gone sideways. The ABC affiliate there reporting.
It's the proposed AIDS memorial sculpture, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars in the community and stirring up controversy over its shape. The round limestone statue with concentric carved circles meant to represent the diverse community impacted by AIDS. Its eye-level opening signifying connection, reflection, and hope. But it's not seen by everyone that way, some saying it's too abstract.
It's really strained. I mean, this is almost like a piece of art looking for a purpose instead of the other way around. It could be about anything, and as a consequence, it's kind of about nothing.
There's also the view that it too closely resembles other things.
You hear it called the donut all the time. You hear it called the word we can't say on camera all the time.
For some on social media and beyond, the design resembles an inappropriate body part on the rear end.
The backside of the proposed memorial looks like a graphic depiction of the backside of a human being.
The memorial is privately raising funding to put it up at a 9-foot-tall scale in the downtown park near the Maryland statue. Its expected price tag in the range of $500,000. The concern? That it could become the butt of a joke.
I can just visualize the whole slew of potential social media posts making fun of something that is so important to our community.
In a letter to community members, the AIDS Memorial Task Force writing it is incorporating feedback they've received and working through the design revision process. But questions persist about why the community wasn't included sooner.
I don't remember ever seeing any outreach over the last couple of years. Everyone seems to be shocked that no one seemed to be consulted.
Palm Springs, the home of California's anus statue.
Oh, you said it. That reporter just danced around
Yeah,
it.
it's an
didn't he?
inappropriate body part. It's not an inappropriate body
butt.
part. It's just.
And the sculpture does look like a anus.
Well, I know. I mean, these were like gay activists that were interviewed by ABC, the ABC affiliate, that were saying, I mean, nobody saw this.
Nobody saw this
I mean,
coming.
there's, I mean,
And they're not going to take it down. So
you know, I said I wanted to use this as a segue for anus-related humor, but maybe I've done enough scatological between the volleyball and the statue in the last 15 minutes.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll return to the scene of Merrick Garland's various crimes, at least against common sense and integrity. George Perry, former federal prosecutor, joins us at 7:07 to discuss what Garland had to say before the House Judiciary Committee yesterday.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Persons of interest in the killing of a Romeoville family are dead after an Oklahoma crash. Bears DC Alan Williams resigns, and WIND Chicago News Time 7.
We need more air defense. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky posted that online after what he called another massive Russian attack overnight. Fox's Jonathan Savage reports.
Russia targeting energy infrastructure in strikes that bring back memories of its tactics last winter. We're told 2 people were killed in the southern city of Kherson, and injuries are reported in several cities, including the capital, Kyiv.
President Zelensky spent 2 days at the UN calling for Russia to be punished. He's in Washington now. Next hour, he'll meet with House lawmakers, then senators, then President Biden in the afternoon.
As additional Ukraine funding becomes a flashpoint in a spending bill needed to prevent a government shutdown.
He's the best messenger for the people of Ukraine and his armed forces, clearly.
White House National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby says President Biden will also announce the latest security aid package for Ukraine.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Some Republicans oppose new Ukraine assistance. The Biden administration is giving nearly 500,000 Venezuelan migrants temporary protected status, allowing them to get legal work permits as many more Venezuelans and other migrants arrive.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he's officially declaring a, quote, invasion at our border because of Biden's policies. The governor accused the Biden administration of ordering razor wire cut along the border in order to, quote, open the floodgates to illegal immigrants. Now, officials tell Fox they've had over 45,000 encounters with migrants over the last 5 days alone.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. It's day 7 of the UAW strike.
The automakers warned about the ripple effects of this strike, and now we are seeing them. General Motors is officially idling a plant in Kansas. They've laid off around 2,000 workers there. Ford has laid off 600 workers at this plant in Michigan, and Stellantis is temporarily laying off about 70 employees in Ohio.
Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble. The union warns it could expand the spike tomorrow. America's listening to Fox.
67 degrees. Skies are cloudy at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple and their 2 children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma.
Officers on scene heard 2 noises believed to be gunshots. A female with a gunshot wound was located and removed from the passenger side of the vehicle. A male, also with a gunshot wound, was located deceased in the driver's seat of the vehicle.
That male, 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey of Streamwood, who tried to elude authorities after a digital license plate detector spotted the vehicle in Oklahoma, but he crashed that vehicle and it caught fire. Police say the woman inside the Huey vehicle also died later at an Oklahoma hospital. 11 are hurt after a CTA bus crash on the southwest side. The collision happened midday yesterday near 51st and Pulaski. A proposed measure to give city workers who earn tips a raise at the restaurants or bars that they work at has been approved by a city council committee.
The food that's created, the experience that's created, all that's created by the workers and the labor that do it.
If approved by the full city council next month, tipped workers who currently earn about $9.48 an hour would get an 8% pay hike July 1st. Strong opposition remains from restaurants, bars, and even some aldermen.
When I talk to prospective restaurateurs, they said, tell me, Alderman, how am I going to make money Monday through Thursday?
Alderman Marty Quinn. Meantime, a top aide to Governor J.B. Pritzker is named as head of the host committee for next year's Democrat National Convention. Christy George will now be responsible for raising about $100 million for the presidential convention. 2 Chicago restaurants are among the best on a national list. We'll see if you agree. The New York Times selects Logan Square's Italian eatery Daisy's, which earned high marks for air-freighted squid and homegrown mushrooms. The other Chicago popular dining spot to make the list is an Indian restaurant, Thatu, known for its fish fries and yogurt rice. Cubs hit hard in a 13-7 loss to the Pirates at Wrigley, while the White Sox gave up 3 home runs to the Nationals in a 13-3 loss. The news service of the Barbecue Authority, your go-to for the largest selections of grills, smokers, and outdoor products. Visit the Lyle showroom or online, bbqauthority.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum has an easy way to deal with looters.
You don't have a right to other people's property, and you don't have a right to take advantage of people in a crisis. I feel no pity for you. If you loot somebody's store, somebody's house, if they bust a cap in your rear end. I have no pity. I don't feel sorry for you at all. I'm almost to the point where I'm willing to celebrate.
The Officer Tatum Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Test Director Rick from ServPro, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction. It's my job to make sure our pros are prepared for anything. Storm damage? Fixed. Flood damage? We're on it. Fire damage? Not anymore. Aliens? What? Aliens? We cleaned those sites a while ago. No matter the disaster, our pros will make it like it never even happened. Find out why ServPro is the #1 choice for residential and commercial restoration projects, large and small. Visit servpro.com today.
All right, this just in, Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. They provide mortgage-free homes for fallen first responder families, Gold Star families, and catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. In 2023, they are providing housing assistance and services to more than 2,000 of America's homeless veterans. Do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Greetings, friends. Sebastian Gorka here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and I talking about investing with YRefi for a while. You may have some questions. So let's review. It's true. You can earn up to 10.25% fixed rate of return. That's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There is no attack on principle if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investyrefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then REFY.com, or call 888-YREFI24. Friends, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investyrefy.com or call 888-YREFI24 and tell them Dr. G sent you.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Advanced Design Studio. Thinking of a home renovation but aren't sure where to begin? Check out Common Sense Remodeling with Advanced Design Studio online, advanceddesignstudio.com. Inbound Edens, 32 Lake Cook Road to the junction. It's an hour 16 from O'Hare to the Burns Circle interchange. The Eichen, 53 390 to the Old Post Office. Stevenson, 47 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle. Accident on the outbound side of the Ryan at 76th. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Today, periods of clouds and sun, a passing shower. High today at 77. Clouds and a bit of rain tonight, low 64. Morning shower tomorrow, then partly sunny with a high 78. Partly sunny, warmer Saturday, the high 81. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
We'll call it 66 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Fun times at the UN. The report from the Post, I should say, about Biden walking into a giant flag at the United Nations, and then appeared to anger Brazil's president by walking off stage without shaking his hand. Brazil's really taken it on the chin the last couple of days. I got that group masturbation celebration at the volleyball game.
Yeah, now this.
And now they're being snubbed by Mr. 10%, the big guy. It's rough. But by the way, this UN, this great convening of world leaders.
Who's even watching?
UN General Assembly brings hooker convention to New York City. High-price escorts from Vegas and Europe.
Oh.
According to
is that on the plan?
Industry experts, business goes up 20 to 25%. It's like a hooker convention. The Insider added that they go to hotels because they can't go to the residences or the embassies. The ladies make $3,000 to $5,000 per session.
Two.
Diplomats go crazy because they're so repressed where they are. They don't have these girls. Well, that's not wonderful. Well,
If only it was legal.
Serious, it soon will be, I'm sure, in New York, but only these serious policymakers, they're convening to figure out how to help Ukraine repel the Russians and do all sorts of important things to increase the peace and world over and so on and so forth. The experts again. The experts are at it again. Boy, are they. At a $3,000 to $5,000 a night clip, they're at it again. Speaking of getting the business, if you will. Merrick Garland testified before the House Judiciary Committee yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And he was a little hazy on what he did or didn't do related to the investigation into Biden Incorporated.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department. It's.
I'm sorry. You
it's
don't recollect. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation into the president's son?
I don't believe that I did.
It's hard
Which
to
means
keep,
he did.
It's hard to keep track of all these things. Merrick Garland also has no idea if there were FBI agents at the Capitol or confidential human sources at the Capitol on January 6th. And if there were, how many? No idea. That's despite the fact that it was reported yesterday before he testified that the same House Judiciary Committee had met with a former assistant director of the FBI and head of the Washington D.C. field office there, Stephen D'Antuono, who said that the FBI had so many paid informants at the Capitol on January 6th, it lost track of the number and had to perform a later audit to determine exactly how many confidential human sources run by different FBI field offices were present that day.
And then to avoid questioning about Ray Epps, they charge him with a little minor misdemeanor before the hearing.
Right. Epps charged with a misdemeanor. As
Wow.
Julie Kelly has reported, and as we know from all the video, but the details here, Epps was wearing military garb, including a tactical vest and backpack. Prosecutors cite as evidence for pre-planning for violence in other cases. Video shows Epps standing with Proud Boy leader Zachary Rell as Rell deployed a chemical spray to officers. Earlier this year, D.C. found Rell guilty of seditious conspiracy and sentenced to 15 years in prison. And the guy standing right next to him, exhorting people to breach the Capitol, gets charged with a misdemeanor at the 11th hour before Garland is going to testify before the House Judiciary Committee.
Does this seem fair?
Victoria Spartz is a Republican congresswoman from Indiana by way of Ukraine, and she gave a great lecture to Merrick Garland yesterday. First, let's just detail the playbook here. Just detail the playbook, what you're doing when it comes to the Biden Inc. investigation, January 6th, IRS whistleblowers. When it comes to everything related to the malfeasance and corruption of this administration.
Let's extend slow walk investigation on Hillary Clinton, on Hunter. Everything is slow walk. We were very quick on Donald Trump, but you were very slow walk. Then by the time that investigation ended, statute of limitation expired, and all of your agents need to be tested for amnesia. No one recalls anything. Okay, you probably should have as part of your hiring policy. So no one held accountable, which was egregious what happened, in that report. When I read about them, I can't believe it happened in the United States of America. This is my frustration. I'll be honest with you.
Well, and what Victoria Spartz knows, and a lot of other people who've emigrated from Eastern Europe to America or to the West, is that the purpose of communist propaganda is not to inform. It's to humiliate. So actually, the less it reflects reality, the better. And that's the whole purpose of it. Humiliate, demoralize, defeat. Not inform, persuade, educate. For more on all this, we're pleased to be joined again by George Perry, former federal and state prosecutor, regular contributor to the American Spectator. He blogs at knowledgeisgood.net. George, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy to be with you.
Not a surprising performance from Merrick Garland yesterday, but a nonetheless dismal one.
Well, he doesn't know nothing. That was his script, and that's what he stuck to. He's your basic bureaucrat. I don't know what's going on. I'm not the president's lawyer, which is a laugher. Of course he's the president's lawyer. He just said he couldn't talk about the Hunter Biden investigation because he had promised the Senate that he would not become involved in that investigation. And yet what did he do? After David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in Delaware, had tried to deep six the Hunter Biden investigation by letting the statute of limitations lapse on the Burisma years when Hunter was getting money from Burisma and, as far as we know, sharing it with the big guy, Joe Biden. They let the statute of limitations run. And then when the plea deal blew up in court, who does Garland appoint special counsel? None other than the same David Weiss, the guy who tried to deep six the case before. So that tells you everything you need to know. He says, I'm not interfering. Well, he doesn't have to interfere because this thing is on autopilot. The case against Hunter Biden is going to go nowhere. Don't be fooled by this latest indictment. The government can enter into a diversion agreement with Hunter's lawyers, just like they did before, and that case is going to go away. So
you don't think there's going to be other charges, though, besides the gun charge, the 3 gun charges?
I'm not holding my breath. I mean, if they were serious about it, they wouldn't have made Weiss the special counsel. He's already proven what he's up to. He slow-walked the investigation into Hunter Biden, and he tried to deep six the whole thing with that ludicrous sweetheart deal that the judge caught. And so he's poised to do it again. I'm not holding my breath at all.
Well, right, and Mayor Cutler, I've never talked to the president about any of this. We don't have to. The president announced that Hunter Biden did nothing wrong, so act accordingly, and they have.
Yeah. And look, the idea when he said if the woman that you cited there, the lady from Ukraine, just to expand on that point, which I thought was really powerful stuff coming from her. Garland starts off talking about how his parents came here from Belarus,
right,
and their grandparents came from Belarus. They were Holocaust survivors, and Spartz, Congresswoman Spartz, said, "Look, I grew up in Ukraine. And I believed in the value as an American not to be afraid of my government. And are you aware that a lot of Americans are now afraid of being prosecuted by your department?" And Garland said, "Well, this is just another attack on the Department of Justice." And she said, "It's not an attack. A lot of good Americans from my district came here on January 6th because they're sick and tired of this government not serving them. They came, there was trouble, and now the FBI is going through my district trying to get people to rat out on one another." And she said, "People are truly afraid. This is a big problem when people are afraid of their own government." And then the zinger, she said, "It's like KGB." I thought that was the most powerful part of the whole farce of a hearing that they had yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brought it home.
There was so many farcical moments. I mean, that sort of was an all-encompassing one. On the specific front, in addition to what you were describing before, and what Victoria Spartz summarized, a good example of what she summarized. Oh, yeah, we can't say anything. Nobody knows anything. We're just going to have to sit around and wait for David Weiss's report, the special counsel. But in addition to that, the exchange that Thomas Massey from Kentucky had with Garland over January 6th and this misdemeanor charge that's been now lodged against Ray Epps. And you, as we did at the outset here of our conversation, compare that to the DOJ's posture with respect to others charged for criminal conduct on that day. Your comment on Ray Epps' charges coming so late. By the way, it's really interesting because Ray Epps filed this defamation suit against Fox News and Tucker Carlson. Well, now you got to at least face a misdemeanor charge. So, anyway. The Ray Epps charge and what that says about the Department of Justice, again, as it relates to January 6th, but even more generally, as Victoria Spartz commented.
Well, look, that's how you take care of an informant. That's how you take care of an undercover operative. You give him some air cover. You bring some nonsensical charge against him and say, "See, we charged him." But one of the interesting things about Epps' defamation suit, what he may or may not understand is, by bringing a defamation claim, he is now opening himself up to a complete top-to-bottom examination of his life.
Yeah, right.
Because all of that is now relevant, and Tucker Carlson's lawyers and Fox News's lawyers are going to be able to take that guy and pump him out on the record. So I don't know who's advising Ray Epps, but he got some very bad advice by bringing that defamation.
Probably figured he just got Rupert Murdoch to pull out his checkbook like they did for Dominion. But on the Epps misdemeanor charge, I mean, so
did he do any jail time?
Well, it was separate and distinct from that. Hunter Biden charging him the gun crime. Ray Epps misdemeanor charge for his conduct on January 6th. Your intuition is this is to cover them. They go and say, look, we gotta cover some of our tracks here. You're gonna have to take this hit. You're gonna have to take this hit. We're gonna have to charge you with this. We're gonna have to charge you with that. They're not prosecuting him like a regular prosecution. It's prosecution for protection.
Yeah, it's a fake front for what's really going on here. They're going to say, well, look, we went after the president's son. How much more even-handed can we be? But if you look at what they're doing to Trump, speaking of appointing very strange people as special counsel, who do they come up with to go after Trump? Out of all the lawyers in the country, they come up with Jack Smith, a guy who's already been reversed 9-0 by the Supreme Court because he basically made up a crime and used that theory to convict the governor of Virginia. This is the same guy with that track record. They put him onto Trump. And they're going to argue, well, we're just being even-handed. Everybody's getting the same treatment. So they got this guy Weiss, who's given Biden a complete pass as far as I'm concerned, and is continuing to do so, versus crazy-eyed Jack Smith, who will charge anybody for anything because the law really doesn't matter. He can just make up theories as he goes along. That's what we're looking at. That's why people, and I agree with that wonderful congresswoman from Ukraine, that's why people are truly afraid. They aren't seeing it. What they're seeing is a Department of Justice that is the enforcement arm of the Democrat Party.
Right.
It is a political operation, a political police force for the Democrat Party.
And what about Garland's response to targeting Catholic groups? Here's a little bit of that.
Do you agree that traditional Catholics are violent extremists? Yes or no? Yes or no?
The idea that someone with my family background would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous, so absurd.
Mr. Attorney General, it was your FBI that did this. It was your FBI that was sending, and we have the memos, we have the emails, we're sending undercover agents into Catholic churches.
I mean, how long can he just sit there and lie?
Well, he's not lying. He's just using moral indignation as in lieu of accountability, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, why answer the question when you can just use this deflection? The idea that you would ask me a question like that, well, yeah, we're asking you the question. Are you going to answer it? Well, no, he never did. Mm-hmm. And that was really and look, the problem here is nobody in Congress really knows how to cross-examine. And I don't really blame them. They're not trained to do it. And the whole format of these crazy hearings where everybody gets 5 minutes to get their licks in, it's just not designed to really elicit any information or to pin someone down. So if a guy like Garland wants to go in and feign outrage and claim he doesn't know nothing about nothing, yeah, you can get away with it. And that's really what we saw yesterday. I thought he was, he came across as Mr. Magoo. I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. He could have been a mob lawyer testifying.
Sort of is. George Perry, former federal and state prosecutor, regular contributor to the American Spectator. He blogs at knowledgeisgood.net. George, thanks as always.
Glad to be with you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, business owners, are you wondering how to grow your business? Do you need cash flow and a ready source for financing? Well, Signature Bank can help. Hi, Mike Gallagher here to let you know that Signature Bank's loan decisions are made locally by a team who knows your name. cares about your business, and is invested in your success. When you need advice about your business or even have a question, Signature Bank is there to help. There are no handoffs or call centers. This is a team that wants to get to know you and your business. That's why Signature Bank in Chicago is my bank. That's right. I'm a customer. When I call, someone picks up the phone on the other end. And with Signature Bank, I can securely bank anywhere, anytime. Reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Call 773-467-5630. That's 773-467-5630. Or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. Signaturebank.bank. Your business could be Signature Bank's next success story. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I like that George Perry comparison. Garland as a mob lawyer. He doesn't have sort of the personality of a Bruce Cutler. He was Gotti's lawyer. But he basically is. Yeah, he basically is a mob lawyer. I mean, because what is government these days? It's legalized mobbery. All right, we turn to something more uplifting. Willows Academy, that is. Willows is an authentically Catholic all-girls school that supports traditional values. For nearly 50 years, Willows has partnered with families in the Chicagoland area to educate young women who will change the world. How do they do it? The school develops virtue, intellectual clarity, and confidence in students to live by the values that have made America great. With all the pressure on girls from society and social media to conform, Willows offers your daughter a supportive environment that helps her understand and live the balance between authentic freedom and personal responsibility. The quality of education and the values of Willows will give you serious peace of mind if you're a parent, and isn't that what every parent wants? Come and check out Willows Academy at the open house they're having Sunday, October 15th at 1 p.m. You can register online at willowsacademy.org. This open house and Willows Academy open to girls grades 6 through 12. And you can get information and register for the October 15th open house at willowsacademy.org.
Don't defund the police. Hire the police to protect your business. Rising crime has been crippling business owners in Illinois more and more in the past year. Blue Star Security can protect your most valuable asset, your business, to protect both you and your customers. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 500 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Anthony Barchetto, president of Blue Star Security and a 20-year law enforcement veteran. Our team is exclusively state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals who provide the highest standards in security. We serve Fortune 500 companies as well as small businesses and individuals, responding rapidly and seamlessly to each assignment. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at bluestarsecurityltd.com. That's bluestarsecurityltd.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Slave to Love. This is a good wedding song.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we never even asked him what his opening song's going to be.
Levitating. Dua Lipa, my guess. All right.
All right, we have a gas giveaway. The first 56 people will get a $50 gift card if you go to the Pride Store in Palatine, 1400 Algonquin Road. I don't have the liner, but I'm trying to find it. Do you have it over there? Because I just remember I have such a wonderful memory. Thank you, sir. It's the Pride of Palatine.
You're going to get the hang of this thing
Algonquin.
one of these days.
Yeah, so here's the deal. We're giving away 56 $50 gift gas cards to the first 56 people, and once they're gone, they're gone, and you can try again next Thursday. Each Thursday in September, we're partnering with the Pride stores to give away those $50 gift cards. So get on it. It stops at 8 o'clock unless supplies have already sold out.
Coming up at 7:37, Bidenomics with Steve Moore. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
7:32, and we're watching a developing story coming out of New York State and New Jersey as a federal grand jury is looking into whether New Jersey Democrat Senator Bob Menendez illegally accepted gold bars from an admitted felon. NBC4 New York is telling us that prosecutors are investigating whether New Jersey's senior senator offered to contact the Justice Department to help Fred Dybus in exchange for $400,000 in gold given to Menendez's wife. Russia launched its biggest missile attack in weeks across Ukraine today. Missiles trying to pound energy facilities. A new report says a group of Republicans this morning will vow to oppose another U.S. aid package to Ukraine. Still, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he's hopeful for continued support.
Conversations I've had with leaders in Congress, including Republican leaders in recent days, shows that support remains strong. And I think as President Zelensky has an opportunity to come to Washington to make his case directly to folks in Congress.
The Wall Street Journal this morning says 23 House members are rejecting President Biden's request for another $24 billion in security, economic, and humanitarian aid. The Writers Guild of America strike could be close to ending.
Both sides meeting again today, and this morning, there's new hope for progress after major studio heads came to the table for the first time Wednesday, signaling a significant shift in the talks.
Writers and producers met face-to-face Wednesday. They're hopeful to finalize a deal as soon as today. Now that strike has gone on for about 100 days. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple and their 2 kids has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma.
I never would have suspected a thing from him. He was a very nice man. He spoke to us we had conversations. I helped him find his dog. He had children. So when I found out, I was extremely shocked.
The neighbor says 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey Jr. of Streamwood tried to elude authorities after a digital license plate detector spotted that vehicle in Oklahoma, but that vehicle crashed and it caught fire. Police later say they heard gunshots from inside the vehicle. Huey was found dead. A woman inside the Huey vehicle was taken to an area hospital where she later died. 11 are hurt after a CTA bus crash on the southwest side. It happened midday yesterday near 51st and Pulaski. City of Chicago is taking Monsanto to court for allegedly contaminating its waterways. The suit claims the agrochemical business and 3 of its corporate successors released polychlorinated biphenyls into the city's air, water, and soil for years. You may recall PCBs were banned in the late 1970s, but the lawsuit says the contaminants continue to spread. President Joe Biden's aides are asking former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel to lay off social media. U.S. Ambassador to Japan has been asked to stop posting messages on social media taunting the Chinese President Xi Jinping, according to administration officials. The National Security Council apparently told Emanuel's staff in recent days that his comments risk undermining the administration's efforts to mend deeply strained relations with China. Emanuel recently conveyed publicly, quote, President Xi's cabinet lineup now resembles Agatha Christie's novel, And Then There Were None, end quote. The ambassador wrote that on September 7 on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Cubs lost to the Pirates 13-7. White Sox lost to the Nationals 13-3. The news a service of MyPillow. MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. Technology makes them absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. For a limited time, 50% savings with promo code LIBERTY. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm telling you, I'll be 74 in May, and I can't tell you how good I feel. I'm telling you, have my sister on it and her husband and so many different people.
It's just what the advertisements say, which is you get more energy. It really is a balance that the body needs, because if you just take regular people's diet, there's no way that they get the amount of servings of vegetables and fruits that they need. And so what this does, it assures that you are getting that. It really is. It's a beautiful name, Balance of Nature. And I tell everybody about it. When you got other people recommending it, it's a big thing.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century. With IoT Smart Connected Scanning, it's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
7:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. We'll start in Hoffman Estates. Report of an accident on Higgins at Huntington. And on the west side of Chicago, Costner, southbound at Grand Avenue. Report of an accident there. On the Reagan, you're already jammed up eastbound on 88 between Route 83 and the Tri-State. Tri-State Tollway, accident right lane block. It involves a semi northbound between I-57 and Southwest Highway. The Bishop Ford and I-57 are jamming into the Ryan merge. The Ryan 37 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. The Stevenson right now is at about 57 minutes into DuSable Lakeshore Drive, while the Ike is at 63, 390 into the old post office, and the Kennedy an hour and 16 into the Burns Circle interchange. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun this morning. A little bit of a rain shower this afternoon, high 77. Mainly cloudy with a possible shower overnight, low 64. 66 at O'Hare, next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897. Online at papanicholas.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
All right. Tick, tick goes the clock. Until 8 o'clock today, we are giving away 56 $50 gift cards at the Pride of Palatine, 1400 West Algonquin Road in Palatine. It's the corner of Algonquin and Roselle Roads in Palatine. Get on it. It ends at 8 o'clock or while supplies last, but we're doing this every Thursday in September, partnering with the Pride stores to give away $50 gift cards at one Pride store location each week. Good luck. Maybe I can go get a $50 gift card.
Employees not eligible. White House launches American Climate Corps.
Yeah.
Wonderful. White House announcing big guy Biden Inc. Mr. 10% announcing that the administration will mobilize more than 20,000 Americans in the clean energy and climate resilience sectors. We're going to train young people in clean energy, conservation, and climate resilience-related skills, like how to run for their lives. Streamline pathways into civil service. Wonderful. More bureaucrats. 20,000 more bureaucrats. This is hearkening back, according to them, to FDR's Civilian Conservation Corps that put millions to work repairing America's infrastructure. This is building back better. More people on the federal payroll, just as we passed $33 trillion in debt and are having our little performative spat about funding the government. For more on all this, pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, economist, author of Govzilla. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Are you making that up? I had not heard that story.
The Climate Corps?
No,
I'm not
this
making
is
it
real.
up.
20,000. You got to come up with a color, a theme.
Is this going to be a new government program, or is it all private? Or
all private? No. You can't leave something this important up to the private sector.
Well, this is absurd. They're going to create warriors for, and basically they're going to be lobbyists. Is what they are. They're going to be lobbying for more and more government programs. But there is good news, by the way, on the other side of the pond on this climate change craziness. I don't know if you saw that the Prime Minister, Sunak, is basically saying, "Well, sorry, we're not doing net zero," and he announced this at the at this big UN meeting. And my God, I mean, people were fainting in the halls and hyperventilating, and he said, "Look, our top priority right now is to rebuild our economy." What a concept! And so it's sad that you got some sensibility now in London.
Well, I mean,
look, he's
terrible. Sunak is terrible.
But here's my point: that the politician who is the absolute worst, the world leader is the absolutely worst on this issue, is the guy sitting in the White House.
Yeah.
Who's trying to dismantle the American economy. And, they're willing to shut down the entire private sector economy for climate change. But God forbid, Dad, and God forbid, Amy, that we should shut down any non-essential government activities. That would be the end of the world.
Well, it was interesting to see Zelensky singing for his supper the other day before the UN General Assembly, going on this tangent about climate change too, really clearly trying to suck up to Biden in the West.
That's the biggest worry Ukraine has right now, is
Right.
Climate change. I mean, look, this stuff. I've said this many times on your show. I'll say it again because it's more true now than ever. Climate change is not a science. It is a cult, folks. It is a cult. And the green movement isn't about the environment. It's about money. This is all about hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of money. People are getting rich on the climate change craziness.
Well, yeah, and they're hiring jobs. I mean, they're hiring people, too, to the tune of 20,000 for this climate group.
Yeah. I mean, only 20,000. It should be 200,000. Should be 2 million people out there getting a government check to spread the gospel of climate change.
We need a whole of society approach. One of my favorite phrases. I mentioned this, but just your take on it. This unnecessary public spat between McCarthy and some Freedom Caucus types like Matt Gaetz over the phony budget showdown, government shutdown business. I mean, why do Republicans always play this the same way when they have a divided government and a divided party within that divided government? It's so point. The messaging on this has been terrible.
So Dan, okay, I take your point, but okay, so you're the Speaker of the House. You are, for a day, you are Kevin McCarthy. What do you do?
Here's what I do. I'm so glad you asked, because I just had this conversation with
I just walked into that, Amy, didn't
Yes.
I?
No, I want to hear this.
Well,
okay, so
I had this back and forth with the Republican National Committeeman from Illinois yesterday, and it was
I'm all ears, Dan.
So-
the whole country is waiting.
So here's what you do. You go to the free. I mean, just like we talk about to the public, you have to make an argument. So you go to Matt Gaetz and any of the other more intransigent members of the Freedom Caucus. You say, look, let's not do this publicly, you and me, or internally in the House GOP caucus.
Right.
We have a common foil, and yes, it's Biden. It's also McConnell. So the message is this: look, we in the House Republican caucus, we just passed $33 trillion in debt. We want to reduce the size and scope and burdens that government imposes on you. We want to cut spending. That's why we want to do single subject. We want to go sector by sector. But we can't do it You have to realize we have spendthrifts in the Senate, including Republicans. And we have a small majority in the House. And by the way, suburban residents around major metropolitan areas in particular, please listen up. When you send people like Sean Casten to the House, that makes it more difficult for us to rein in runaway spending and runaway government. So this is
okay.
So this my point is to say you turn this on McConnell being a rubber stamp. You turn this on the voters saying, look, this is an opportunity for the House Republicans to come together and say, look, this is why we need a bigger majority. This is why you have to elect conservatives to the United States Senate. And then we can do these things. But otherwise now, Matt Gaetz, stop preening before the cameras and pursuing your self-interest at the expense of the caucus. And let's just do this. We will all win if we focus our ire on McConnell and we challenge the voters to do better.
Okay, look, Dan, let me respond to that. First of all, I mean, I partially agree with you. Number one, with the Republicans, look, you're right. They have a very, very razor-thin margin in the House. They don't have the Senate. They don't have the White House. So they can't drive this outcome, right? They just can't. And that's the reality. And
but they can drive the understanding about the outcome.
I agree with that. And so they need to have a public, very public campaign that is basically informing and educating the American people that this is a damn crisis that we have. This is as serious as a heart attack. What's going on in Washington? $33 trillion of debt. We're going to add another $2 trillion this year. It is going through the roof. It's raising interest rates. The biggest, Amy, the biggest single fastest growing expenditure in the federal budget. You know what that is? It's interest on the debt. In other words, we don't even get any government services for this. We're just paying for all the borrowing we've done before, and have a public campaign to say, look, we can't stop Joe Biden. We can't stop, Chucky Schumer. You blame McConnell, but Schumer is,
Well, yes, of course, Schumer, right, of course.
And you have to just tell people we're against all this spending, but we can't drive the process. We're going to pass as a responsible budget as we can out of the House. And what do you just
that's my point. That's my point. And to say to Gaetz and anybody to say, look, this puts us all on the same side. We present a united front. We advance the brand. And if you go out there and you grandstand and you pretend I'm not trying to be constructive or I'm not trying to get to the same place, then I'm going to tell people publicly, what the conversation we had and the approach, and we'll let Republican rank and file decide who's more sensible about it. It's a carrot and stick. It's a carrot and stick opportunity.
I know. And look, you're accusing of Matt Gaetz and others, politicians, of grandstanding. Gee,
he's going to run for governor of Florida, right?
Well, who knows? But my point is, this is a real catastrophe that's going on, folks.
I understand.
And pay attention,
right?
But you do. I do. Amy does.
Well, that's why.
A lot of Americans don't understand the absolute catastrophe that's going on in Washington right now, and use the bully pulpit that Kevin McCarthy and others have to keep educating people.
I agree. I agree, but
also connect the dots between the spending and debt to the fact that every time, Amy, you go to the grocery store, you have to pay more and more and more higher prices for the Cocoa Krispies and for the bananas. And
goldfish.
For the ground beef.
It's the goldfish.
And the goldfish, right?
Yeah, but
I
$10
use the Amy Goldfish Index now.
Right.
Yes. And it's a pretty good one.
Right.
And $4.99. It's now $10.
And the sniping between Gaetz and McCarthy, just to use it as an example, is it distracts from that. That's an additional point. So yeah, I think we're trying to say the same things, but it's just seeing this, and this happens all the time. I mean, how many phony government shutdowns do we have to go through before Republicans get sharper on this?
Well, we've had 25 government shutdowns in the last 40 years, and it hasn't been the end of the world. But every single one of those, if my math is right, has been blamed on the Republicans.
Right, of course.
Can you think of a single government shutdown where the Democrats were blamed?
There hasn't been. I don't think.
Right, because
with Reagan alone,
because the leftists are all of a sudden fiscal conservatives who are worried about a credit rating downgrade. I mean, it's a joke. I know.
Yeah, no, it is a real and look, the presidential candidates need to make this an issue as well. And look, Donald Trump, somebody I'm working for and I worked for in 2016. he liked to spend money.
He
these
did.
Guys like
Yeah.
to spend money. We need institutional restraints or we're going to end up like Chicago. We're going to end up like Illinois.
And he's not going to do the debate again next week, correct?
It looks like he's going to the UAW strike. The
Yeah,
picket
that's
line
right.
instead. Yeah,
that's right.
So we'll see. But by the way, on that UAW pick, my line on this is that the reason you've got so much labor agitation right now, and the reason you've got 15,000 UAWs on strike, and I think it's going to be about 10,000 more next week, is that the inflation is just killing union workers. I'm so sick of Joe Biden saying, I'm the best friend that unions have ever had. What is he talking about? He's crushed unions with inflation. The UAW says that their average worker has lost $6,000 in income a year because of Biden's inflation.
Yeah. No, we all know the best friend that workers have is John Fetterman. He's the spokesman for the working
He's a man of the people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he wears a hoodie. He's cool. Steve Moore, economist, Govzilla author. Thanks as always, Steve.
Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
A message brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration of North Chicago. It's a beautiful summer day in the Midwest. No clouds in sight, but on the horizon we spot trouble.
Oh no! I just received a call from my condo building manager, and 3 floors burned in a fire last night. My unit was severely damaged from soot and smoke. Now what do I do? Who do I call?
You call Paul Davis Restoration. Nobody expects to experience an insurance loss. The truth is, fires, floods, tornadoes, hail, and just plain bad things happen to over 1 million homeowners annually. You could be one of them. Whether you face a business or residential catastrophe, Paul Davis Restoration is ready to help you from the instant the fire is out, the tornado has passed through, or the floodwaters have receded. We have a 25,000 square foot warehouse within minutes of the Chicago Loop and can pack out clean, restore your items, and return them to you in record time. Visit Paul Davis Restoration online at pauldavischicago.com or call 773-883-8000. That's 773-883-8000 or online at pauldavischicago.com. That's pauldavischicago.com or call 773-883-8000 or online at pauldavischicago.com.
Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you learn proper portion control and develop healthy eating habits. With NJ Diet's 40-day program, you'll lose 20 to 40 plus pounds, contractually guaranteed. Lose weight quickly the healthy and natural way with NJ Diet. Locations in Skokie and Oak Brook. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
So excited. Balance of Nature. I love it. And take it every day. Why? Because I'm not getting enough fruits and veggies on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Did you want to say something?
You're going to the Gala Ball there out in Utah, the world headquarters, right?
It's the Founders Ball, and I'll let you know how it goes. Black tie. It's not black tie optional. It's black tie creative.
How much?
What does that mean?
How much is the plate there? How much is the meal there?
I'll see what what it costs to cover the plate.
Do you have to cover the plate there?
I'm not giving anybody gifts. The gift is Balance of Nature and
the gift is your
celebrating it.
presence.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's 31 whole fruits and veggies, real food, real science, real nutrition. People who take it swear by it. I love it too. They have more energy, able to keep doing the things that they love even as they age. And you feel better. So get the nutrition your body needs. Get the nutrition your body craves. Get Balance of Nature. The number to call, 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. First-timers get free shipping and 35% off their first preferred order of fruits and veggies, or simply go online to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
Looking to establish or enhance your credit to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg for a Fresh Start secured credit card. 26 million Americans are invisible because they have no credit, and 21 million Americans are unscorable because their credit has zero impact on their scores. 47 million Americans can't secure a mortgage because of credit. But I have amazing news. Team Hochberg's Fresh Start secured credit card will help credit invisible, unscorable, and credit challenged listeners establish and enhance their credit. Team Hochberg's partnered with Kane County Teachers Credit Union to issue a Team Hochberg Fresh Start secured credit card to help establish and enhance listeners' credit. We've helped thousands of radio listeners establish, revitalize, and enhance their credit, but we can't help if you don't visit 56david.com/fresh start. That's 56david.com/fresh start. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 112461.
You know a company is looking out for you when they actually upgrade your service and don't charge you for it. This is great news for new and current Pure Talk customers. Pure Talk just added data to every plan and is including a mobile hotspot with each one with no price increase whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited text, unlimited talk, and now 50% more 5G data plus mobile hotspot. That's just $20 a month. I love Pure Talk. Also happens to be a veteran-owned and only hires the best customer service team right here in the USA. Families are saving almost $1,000 a year on the most dependable 5G network in America. Dial pound 250 and say Dennis Prager to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say Dennis Prager, and make the switch. The cell phone company I use, Pure Talk, today.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk crime and punishment with the great Bob Woodson, founder and president of the Woodson Center, author of Red, White, and Black at 8:08.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
The mayor's plan to put migrant base camps up moves forward, as does a tipped wage plan at City Hall. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
He'll ask for more. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet this hour with House lawmakers, then senators, after pushing Congress to approve more military aid to fend off Russia's invasion, on top of the billions of dollars in weapons and ammo and other defense the U.S. has already given.
We shouldn't be spending a dime more on Ukraine.
That's Republican Senator Josh Hawley telling Fox.
What about our nation? It's not an investment in our future, in our people.
Russia hit Ukraine with another barrage of missiles overnight, damaging infrastructure, killing 2 people. President Biden will deliver more aid to Ukraine when he meets Zelensky this afternoon, but a key ally in a grain dispute with Ukraine has stopped helping.
Since the start of the war, Poland has supplied Ukraine with hundreds of Soviet-era tanks and 14 MiG-29 fighter jets. But Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki says they'll focus on their own military, at least for now. This coincides with a diplomatic row that started when Russia blocked Ukraine's Black Sea ports.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. 2 more polls give former President Trump big leads in the 2024 Republican race. Fox Business surveys have him at 46% in 2 early contest states. Ron DeSantis, a distant second in Iowa. Nikki Haley in second place in South Carolina. And Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
Voters in both states, 49% in South Carolina and 46% in Iowa, say economic issues are their top concern, followed by 15% in both states, prioritizing immigration.
Now, the Biden administration has given nearly 500,000 Venezuelans temporary protected status so they can legally work here as thousands cross the border.
The illegal immigrants were predominantly adult men from Venezuela, with many of them telling us they arrived in northern Mexico via train. The mayor of Eagle Pass has now declared an emergency in his city.
That's Fox's Bill Maloogian in Eagle Pass, Texas. We just got an update on unemployment. First-time claims dropped last week to the lowest level in 8 months, 201,000. America's listening to Fox News.
To it.
8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple and their 2 children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma.
Noises believed to be gunshots. A female with a gunshot wound was located and removed from the passenger side of the vehicle. A male, also with a gunshot wound, was located deceased in the driver's seat of the vehicle.
Romeoville Deputy Chief Byrne, 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey of Streamwood, apparently tried to elude authorities after a digital license plate detector spotted the vehicle in Oklahoma, but that vehicle crashed and later caught fire. Police say a woman inside the Huey vehicle later died at an Oklahoma hospital. Mayor Brandon Johnson's controversial plan to put up illegal immigrant base camps across the city is moving forward. The city signed a nearly $30 million contract with a private security firm for temporary housing. Cubs lost to the Pirates 13-7, while the White Sox lost to the Nationals 13-3. The news, a service of In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder, Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The Bank of England left its key interest rate unchanged today. Inflation moderated a little last month in the UK, where it has shown little improvement before now. The Federal Reserve paused interest rates yesterday, but Wall Street is slumping after the Fed suggested another increase is coming later this year and that rates will remain higher for longer. Switzerland's central bank held its key interest rate steady today, but indicated it may need to raise rates again. FedEx shares are higher. Its profit topped expectations. It raised its forecast. Starbucks is raising the dividend it pays shareholders, a sign of confidence in the business. Klaviyo shares are losing ground after the stock's better-than-expected launch yesterday. Klaviyo is a marketing automation platform that helps companies to target emails. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
You can't live forever, but your legacy can. For over 185 years, families have trusted Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, with 47 locations throughout Cook and Lake counties, to set their legacies in stone. A prepaid cemetery plan locks in today's prices and safeguards against rising inflation. Visit CatholicCemeteryChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
Friends, listen up. September is the perfect time to hit the reset button and set new goals. Why? It's National Self-Improvement Month. Think of it as an annual personal checkup. Maybe you want to volunteer, adopt, or start an exercise routine, read a book, or improve your overall health. I have a suggestion for you. 120 Life. 120 Life is my go-to juice that helps lower and control my blood pressure. I drink it every day. I can't stop raving about it. It's packed with 6 natural ingredients that have amazing health benefits like pomegranate, hibiscus, beetroot, and tart cherry, just to name a few. 120 Life tastes refreshing, especially poured over ice or in the Ninja. Go to 120LIFE, use coupon code LIBERTY to save 15% on your order plus free shipping. And here's an added bonus. You can earn customer reward points with every order. Points that you can collect and redeem for a discount up to $50. Check it out at 120life.com. Use coupon code LIBERTY at checkout and tell them Sean Thompson sent you.
All right, this just in. Pure Talk just added more 5G data to every plan and is now including a mobile hotspot with no price increase at all whatsoever. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus you get mobile hotspot. Start saving today. Go to puretalk.com, enter the promo code Sean, S-E-A-N, to make the switch to Pure Talk, and you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Sean.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. They provide mortgage-free homes for fallen first responder families, Gold Star families, and catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. In 2023, they are providing housing assistance and services to more than 2,000 of America's homeless veterans. Do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
8:07, let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of the Pride stores, 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest location, the Pride of Kane County, St. Charles, Kirk and May. Pride stores, not your typical convenience stores. Just a couple of major trouble spots. Inbound Kennedy is at 83 minutes from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. And big delays on the Stevenson coming in. It is 1 hour and 9 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Periods of clouds and sun this morning. Passing shower expected this afternoon. High 77. 68 right now at O'Hare. Your next news update at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by CharlesEquipment.com. Keeping you powered up, no matter what the conditions. CharlesEquipment.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. How is the elimination of cash bail in Illinois going since it took effect on Monday? Listen up, suburbs. Thought the problems of Cook County would never be visited upon me. McHenry County. Much to the chagrin of McHenry County State's Attorney Patrick Kennelly. 2 individuals were released that his office argued shouldn't have been. One was a 19-year-old who was arrested Monday and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and unlawful use of a blackjack knife. This 19-year-old pulled a gun on a Metra conductor. The incident occurred while he was on a train in Crystal Lake inbound to Chicago. The conductor had asked the accused to leave the train after a confrontation with other passengers. After he pulled the gun, he fled the scene. Police unable to locate the gun, but did find a switchblade. 2 misdemeanor charges filed against him, both non-detainable offenses, released. Second defendant released Tuesday after he was charged with possession of a controlled substance, a Class 4 felony, but non-detainable. They found him outside a gas station banging his head against the wall in possession of a small amount of fentanyl.
Oh, boy.
He had been arrested 20 times, including 6 times for felony offenses and 3 times for drug-related offenses. He previously served 10 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections for residential burglary. Released. Think he'll do something wrong again?
Yeah, odds are pretty good in his favor that he's going to commit another crime, yes.
Nonviolent offenses. So he's just high.
say.
He's just high on drugs, banging his head against the wall. The kid just pulled a gun. He didn't hurt anybody. Nonviolent. You pull a gun on somebody, you think that that person is ready for violence? Or a
And
knife?
when you're hopped up on drugs, too, you do things out of character. You do whatever you can to feed your addiction.
20 times, 6 times for felony offenses, served 10 years in IDOC for residential burglary. Walking the streets in McHenry County or wherever they are now. It's going to get interesting. One other case before we get to our next guest. Calvin Ushery in Wilmington, Delaware. You may remember this one because the video of the robbery and beating at this jewelry store in Wilmington, Delaware went viral because of its brutal nature. This guy comes into this jeweler's and pulls a gun on him, pistol whips him, gets behind the counter where the guy's now on the ground, kicks him, hits him again. The guy gets up, older Korean gentleman. He's, blood all over him. The report is, according to prosecutors, he's still recovering from his injuries from that beating a year later. Here's the ABC affiliate in Wilmington reporting on what happened at trial.
Tonight, a jury could not reach a verdict in a brutal attack and robbery of a Wilmington jewelry store owner, Calvin Ushery. was on trial for various charges, including robbery and assault. After 2 days of deliberations, a mistrial was declared. This surveillance video was shown during the trial coming up right here. Prosecutors argued Ushery violently attacked the owner of Solid Gold Jewelers back in September of last year. The owner was so badly beaten he underwent months of rehabilitation. Prosecutors plan to retry the case.
Ushery is black. The store owner, Korean, as I mentioned. The reporting on the trial, the defense attorney for Ushery said, basically, yeah, he did it, but he's not responsible because he's a victim of society. Hung jury.
That was his defense, and it was a hung jury.
Hung jury.
Sickening.
So here we go again. Even without the non-prosecution, decarceration prosecutors and politicians, now because of the race hustlers, you have people sitting in jury boxes looking at the racial composition of criminal and victim and making determinations on the making determinations, guilt or innocence, based on racial considerations rather than behavioral ones. That's not a good place, I don't think. For more on this and other matters, pleased to be joined by Bob Woodson, founder and president of the Woodson Center, author of Red, White, and Black, Rescuing American History from Revisionists and Those Race Hustlers I just spoke of. And, oh, by the way, I understand that the curriculum that Bob Woodson and people like Ian Rowe, we've had on the show before as well, their lessons on Black history and excellence have been downloaded now more than 110,000 times. 25 topics, both high school and K through 8, all free with registration from the Woodson Center website. So a great content production from the Woodson Center that runs counter to what you're getting from the 1619 Project and most of the rest of the media and academia and the other cultural and civic institutions. Bob, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Dan.
So what about this? I mean, it's one thing when you have politicians being funded by ideologues to undermine the justice system from their professional perches. It's another thing when you start to have the citizenry go along with it.
It really is. And this pattern of racial nullification, even in criminal cases, has got a pattern that started 10 or 15 years ago, and it adversely affects the most vulnerable. And those that are the people living in those communities in there. But the way to change it is interesting. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, one of the staunchest opponents of the police and nullified that she's a member of city council. She also got the funding cut and was a strong opponent of police. Well, last week, she got radicalized because she was savagely beaten by 4 young black men in front of her children. And now the only people who saved her were the police. And now she's calling for law and order. She's demanding that they be arrested. She's calling them, they're running wild. It's unfortunate that this hypocrisy on the part of these leaders can only be challenged when something happens personally to them.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, literally. I mean, we used to liberal. What did I think it was Buckley that came up with the phrase that a neocon is a liberal who's been mugged by reality. He meant that. He meant that rhetorically. But it's taking physically before you sort of confront reality, at least for those on the defund, decarceration, non-prosecution side.
Yeah, just like Nike, they had their comeuppance because they had to close their flagship store in Portland, Oregon, because there were so many thefts. Remember, they were the ones who supported Colin Kaepernick,
right?
And his vehement opposition to police. So, what we're finding though, Dan, is that we have a group called Voices of Black Mothers United.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are giving voice to that 80% of Black Americans do not support defund the police. They do not support it. And because many of these businesses that are like in Chicago are pulling out and on these blue cities, businesses are pulling out because of their violence. They're not just these box stores, but there are people in places like Minnesota, in Milwaukee, a woman who owned a hairdresser for 35 years, a pillar of the community. Her business was burned down, and others like it. And so, but the people who are giving voice to those that are unheard, they're the ones that we're trying to put forward, and they are the ones who have to speak out and stop this kind of nullification of juries and nullification of race.
Yeah.
What we're confronting now is worse than anything that happened in the 60s during Jim Crow.
Right.
Well, I want to, since, promoting the positive, here's a good example, too, of people to promote, it seems to me, and I know you'll appreciate this because I know you're a Philadelphia guy. This restaurant called Jim's West in West Philly, which is apparently a popular cheesesteak place. Apparently they have
Jim's.
Yeah, Jim's.
He knows it.
Yeah. So Jim's West just reopened, but they reopened with a little bit of a wrinkle. They got ex-military or former military or off-duty police outside in vests with sport rifles providing security. And listen to the ABC affiliate there in Philadelphia covering the story. First, you're going to hear from the owners of Jim's West, who are black gentlemen, black entrepreneurs, and then some of the customers, and then the guard himself.
Residents are thrilled the original Jim's West Steaks in West Philadelphia is back in business.
Thank you.
But this time, customers can expect to see armed agents out front.
The violence has spiked. It goes up and down. You want people to feel safe and to be safe, so when they come out and eat, they don't have to worry about no type of harm.
Our lines are down the block, so while you standing here in line, connecting with other people that you may not know, we got security right here just to keep you guys safe.
The owners hope their presence prevents crimes.
It's not just myself. There usually be other agents who's sworn and certified through the state of Pennsylvania to do security work when they're off duty from doing what they're doing. All of us are former military, police, law enforcement background.
Other business owners have hired armed agents too, including the Carco gas station in North Philadelphia.
As a business, if you want to secure your business and you want to make sure everybody's safe, you got to spend that extra money.
While some customers support the enhanced security,
safety and good food is always a plus.
If it deters it, I can't complain, I guess. But I'm not exactly a big fan of guns, but I get it.
Others think it's not necessary outside of Jim's West.
Now, North Philly, where that gas station is with the guys out there with a machine gun, I can understand that. But here, it's a little overkill. Even if you just had an armed guard, okay, but just walking around with a machine gun, it's not family friendly. I'm here to protect you. I'm not here to, cause any trouble or be that guy with the rifle.
Well, first of all, it's not a machine gun. And secondly, Bob, get your reaction to that and what that says about the leadership, the political leadership of Philadelphia, that business owners feel compelled to do this.
Well, I have a T-shirt that I said, too old to fight, too old to run, not too old to shoot a gun.
You'd fit right in there at Jim's. Yeah, right.
But you'd feel comfortable going to Jim's.
I really think, there's instances in Louisiana, for instance, when there was a big fight at the high school and some fathers decided, it's called Dads on Duty. They just took over the school. These dads gathered up other dads in the community, and they went in and took over this high school. They've been occupying it and made it safe. That's the kind of spontaneous response that we have to generate around this country. It's just like in Ferguson, of the 51 people who were arrested for rioting, only one was from Ferguson.
Right.
And the stores that didn't get robbed, they were protected by two young black men with automatic weapons. They did not get robbed or looted. And so I just think there's got to be some kind of spontaneous response from the community suffering the problem. And if this is what it takes, this is what it takes. But the people suffering the problem must be given an opportunity to protect themselves in ways that are very creative and inventive. Since the liberal prosecutors are going to keep releasing these criminals, citizens who are suffering the problem have to take matters into their own hands, unfortunately. And I'm really pleased to see my hometown of Philly, Jim's. I expect to go there in a couple of weeks to make sure I give my support to him.
There you go.
That's great. Now, Mr. Woodson, I don't know if you've heard, but Chicago, our new mayor, wants to have state-run grocery stores instead of a solution to the crime crisis, because there are food deserts, because Walmart shut down 3 stores because of high crime, and they were, hemorrhaging cash. What's your thought on that?
They can't even run the government. How are they going to run a store? I mean, that's just ridiculous. The same challenges that are faced by experienced retailers will be faced by government. Government has no talent, no skill or ability to do what the private sector can't do. Why not just protect the stores of those who know how to run a store? I cannot imagine a government, particularly in Chicago, setting up a store and pricing it. What did work, I can tell you, in one city that we supported was Pathmark store set up a store that was supported by a group of a drug alcohol treatment program, a Christ-centered program, and all of the workers were recruited who were ex-offenders and ex-drug addicts from this program, and they made it safe to the point where that store outperformed all other stores in the white suburban community. That's because responsible community leaders that had moral authority were the ones who recruited. Pilferage was down. Absenteeism was non-existent. So communities have resources within if we can just think creatively about taking some of those indigenous resources. Once a person's character changes, once you become an X something, then your characteristic has an advantage. And I believe people who were part of the problem, who become transformed and redeemed, they can play a critical role in promoting peace in these communities because they have the moral authority, they have the trust, and they have the influence. We just got to look at them as a resource.
He is Bob Woodson, founder and president of the Woodson Center. That's woodsoncenter.org, the website where you can download the Black History and Excellence curriculum. That's both for high school as well as K through 8. So woodsoncenter.org there. Also the book, Red, White, and Black, Rescuing American History from Revisionists and Race Hustlers. Bob, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
It's a big evening you don't want to miss. The Illinois Family Institute's Faith, Family, and Freedom Banquet with best-selling author and nationally syndicated radio host Eric Metaxas. Friday, November 3rd at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. To attend, click events at illinoisfamily.org.
We're talking about religious freedom being constricted by the state. Will the church wake up and say, this is wrong?
Eric Metaxas is the author of Bonhoeffer, Amazing Grace, and his latest book, Letter to the American Church, is a wake-up call for Christians to speak out and protect religious liberty.
If you will speak up, things will change if we would but try.
Eric Metaxas and the IFI Faith, Family, and Freedom Banquet, Friday, November 3rd at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. To attend, click events at illinoisfamily.org. illinoisfamily.org.
Dan Proft here for Northridge Prep. Northridge Prep, great place to be a boy. What does that mean exactly? Thanks to a foundation of an all-boys environment, your son is built up into a man of intellect and character who loves God. The teachers and faculty members become mentors to students. And when you combine that with an atmosphere that's fun, competitive, and challenging, it creates an exceptional experience for your son. The result is the boys love Northridge. They've been educating boys for nearly 50 years, and one of the things that stands out to me is their commitment to partnering with parents. You hear that a lot. You hear that with a lot of schools, but it's real at Northridge. Parents can't stop talking about it. They built a community that really works together. Raising kids is difficult these days, and at Northridge, you can be confident your son is on the right path. Northridge is having an open house on Sunday, October 22nd for boys grades 6 through 12. Sunday, October 22nd, grades 6 to 12. Register today at northridgeprep.org. Again, the open house is Sunday, October 22nd. Register at northridgeprep.org.
Mortgage. How much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Demi, and I did my first home purchase with Townstone Financial. The biggest difference between Townstone and the bigger banks that we went to was that at Townstone, Barry was really straightforward. He ran the numbers, and he made it happen. With the bigger banks, I feel like they kept giving me a runaround. We didn't have a lot of money in our checking and savings. Townstone Financial was the only bank that we reached out to that was able to find us a program that worked for us.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
All right, when you give your body the best possible fuel, you have more energy, you're stronger, you think more quickly, and the best energy you can give your body is fruits and veggies. And how many are you having on a daily basis? Probably not a lot, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 31 whole fruits and vegetables, real food, real science, real nutrition. People who take it have increased energy, the ability to keep doing the things they love as they age. There's a wide variety of fruits and vegetables in there, and you will feel better. So get the nutrition your body needs, because it's very important to have fruits and vegetables, because good nutrition is the foundation of all aspects of health. The number to call, 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago, or simply go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, have you heard the F-35 guy, the guy who witnessed the F-35 crash in South Carolina?
I have not heard it yet.
Yeah, you got to hear this guy.
Okay.
It's an instant classic. This is the guys you want giving commentary on the local news to make it watchable.
So he was real?
He's a real dude. It's rural South Carolina.
Okay.
And
lucky it didn't hit his house.
Yeah, he
went
is
down. I've lost my plane.
He is that. What's this guy's name again? Oh, Randolph White. Yeah, Randolph White is his name.
I can't wait to meet Randolph White.
Mr. Randolph White. You ever wonder what an F-35 sounds like?
Yeah.
Randolph White will tell you.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this?
That's what an F-35 sounds like.
That is fantastic.
Now you don't have to wonder. Uh-huh. And he offered some more commentary on just
please.
what had
I
transpired.
can hear him all day.
Yeah.
The first thought came to me, I said, must what's a meteorite coming out of space or something? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, if the airplane, it needed to be reported, but the thing was flying just too low.
Yeah. I thought it was a meteorite out of outer space, but it was an airplane flying too low. He figured that out because, it crashed. One more time, just F-35 for
what does it sound like?
Kids out there who've never had. You may never have the experience to really hear one. So
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this?
Michael Winslow has nothing on Randolph White.
Never gets old. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk a little bit more crime and punishment with Jason Rand, host of the Jason Rand Show in Seattle and Tacoma. Seattle's leading conservative commentator. We've had him on before. You see him on Tucker Carlson's show as well. They've got the same problems in the Pacific Northwest as we do, and we'll commiserate over them at 8:38.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Well, as a Fox News affiliate, we need to tell you that Rupert Murdoch has stepped down as chairman of Fox Corporation and News Corp. His son Lachlan will apparently take over, becoming the sole chairman of both companies. The 92-year-old media mogul who got his start in the newspaper business in the 1950s became a major Hollywood executive in 1985 when he bought 20th Century Fox from The old oil man Marvin Davis for $600 million. Fox News launched in 1996 as a startup competitor to CNN. CNN reports that at this point, Fox News has become America's #1 cable news channel for disinformation. Yes, that's on the CNN website. Ukrainian President Zelensky is in Washington, D.C. today. He'll meet with President Biden at the White House and lawmakers on Capitol Hill. A new proposal by House Republican leaders to avoid a government shutdown appears to have won over some GOP hardliners. Several Republicans who voted against the GOP funding bill Tuesday have reportedly agreed to back the new plan. This morning, Boston College is suspending its men's and women's swimming and diving teams over a major hazing scandal. BC student Laura Haas.
I think it should be dealt with seriously. I think there should be outlets for people, places they can go to speak up about it. But I think we do have some of that here at BC.
Administrators say they've determined that the hazing did take place within the program. BC finished in last place in the ACC in men's and women's swimming and diving last year. Writers Guild of America strike appears close to ending. Writers and producers meeting face-to-face today. They're near an agreement, according to reports on CNBC. Two sides hoping to finalize a deal as soon as today. Police say a suspect in the shooting deaths of a suburban Chicago couple and their 2 children has died in a fiery crash in Oklahoma. A woman and 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey Jr. of Streamwood tried to elude authorities after a license plate detector spotted the vehicle in Oklahoma but crashed. It caught fire. Later, there were gunshots. Nathaniel Huey was found deceased. A woman inside was rushed to a nearby hospital where, according to reports, she later died. Well, fall is still just a few days away, but the city of Chicago already has its sights set on Christmas. The Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events is accepting nominations for the official 2023 City Christmas Tree. It goes up November 17. Cubs pitchers hit hard in a 13-7 loss to the Pirates. White Sox lost to the Nationals 13-3. And the news service of the Pride stores with 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest location, the Pride of Kane County, St. Charles, Kirk, and Maine, for weekly grand opening specials and exciting raffles. Pride stores, not your typical convenience store. 8:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you listen to the mainstream media and the Democrats, you'd think it was a sin to be black and conservative. Well, John Anthony blows up that perception every week on Black and Right. Join John this Saturday afternoon at 4 when he pushes back against the left and its regressive, progressive agenda that tries to dictate how people should think or feel about politics. Listen to Black and Right this Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I feel better. I look better. I have more energy, everything. And I'm 60 years old.
Oh my gosh, you need to share every bit of the success. I'm in love with them, and I'm going to keep on taking them until the end of time because my body clearly is doing something with Balance of Nature. I mean, my skin looks good, and I've got energy, and I walk, talk fast, and you can see that I'm up with these fruit and vegetables.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-2468-751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
Hey, this is Brant along with Sherry here. And so you hear me doing these spots for MediShare, and Sherry actually helps me with them. I get people actually in person saying, okay, Brant, for real, do you recommend this? Like, yeah, for real, I actually do. I'm not just saying stuff. So family, friends ask me about it. I'm like, yes, you should look into this. It's really a great option for a lot of people.
That's what I tell people my experience has been. MediShare has been
fantastic for me.
Yeah.
It's so different from health insurance in a lot of great ways, honestly.
Yeah, and see, a lot of people who've switched tell me that. It's the same reaction. They're very, very happy with it, and it gives them peace of mind and saves them a lot of money.
I would tell people, look into it.
Yep. So really, for reals, if you want to talk to them, they're great to talk to. I think you'll be impressed and happy you looked into it. So you do the phone number. I'm actually tired of doing all the phone numbers.
Okay.
Call now.
844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Nice job.
Thanks.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And on the Edens, we're still at 28 minutes. Lake Cook Road into the junction. The Kennedy now, it's an hour and 20 from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Kennedy outbound right now, 16 out to the junction and 42 out to the big airport. The Ike right now at 74 minutes from 390 into the old post office, while the Stevenson right now is running with delays, 56 minutes from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. You're jammed up from Harlem all the way into the Ryan. Traffic, a service of Lowe's. Klein tools are new at Lowe's. Right now, get the new Klein 3-piece ModBox mobile workstation exclusively at Lowe's for just $319.94, because Lowe's knows tools and Lowe's knows pros. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Periods of clouds and sunshine with a passing afternoon shower, high 77. 68 at O'Hare, next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I left my iPad in San Francisco. Nice paraphrasing. Less than 3 hours after arriving in the city, we mean this gentleman and his wife, were treated to a local specialty, a smash and grab theft. My wife and I exited an exhibit on Tudor, England at the Legion of Honor Art Museum in bucolic Lincoln Park to discover a rental car's backseat windows had been shattered and the satchel containing my iPad snatched. You were lucky, a sympathetic local assured us, that as we surveyed the damage. I mean, this happened to our friend Eli Steele.
Right.
When all his camera equipment was stolen. Museum attendant said to this couple, happens 10 times a week. Happens 10 times a week. The guards said they're instructed to protect only the interior of the museum and a narrow perimeter around it. And the car was parked just outside their jurisdiction, if you will. A few days earlier, visitors spotted two men in hoods driving a van slowly past the parked car. She took pictures of the vehicles and license plates and brought them to the desk. What did you do? I asked. He shrugged. No one witnessed a crime, and you can't arrest someone for wearing a hood. The next day, we visited the De Young Museum, which has underground parking and draw gates. You don't get smash and grabs here, do you? My wife asked the attendant. Oh, yes, we do. Draw gates, underground. San Francisco also seeing a incredible spike in fentanyl-related deaths. 85 last month. The city has turned into a zombie apocalypse. That's what residents are saying. Well, I mean, they had that Doom Loop tour that was sidelined, but gives you and it was intended as sort of a pointed social commentary, but it tells you where things are at. What about a little farther north, the land of the autonomous zone, Seattle? We were just talking to Bob Woodson about that Minneapolis official literally mugged by the reality of her defund, decarceration, non-prosecution policies when she was almost killed by carjackers in front of her kids. Now she's singing a different tune. Maybe Seattle's starting to sing a different tune as well, as compared to what they were saying back in the heady days of Jenny Durkin and the Summer of Love. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Seattle Times reporting after summer debating a contentious drug enforcement bill, the Seattle City Council reversed course, voting 6-3 to allow the city attorney's office to prosecute knowing possession and public use of illicit drugs. Sounds like a baby step, but I guess, the journey of 1,000 miles. For more on all this, we're pleased to be joined by Jason Rantz. He's the host of the Jason Rantz Show on KTTH 770 AM in Seattle, Tacoma. Seattle's leading conservative commentator. He's got a new book on topic. What's Killing America? Inside the Radical Left's Tragic Destruction of Our Cities. Jason, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, I don't know. This sort of would seem to be a modest move by the Seattle City Council as being hailed as something sort of transformational. How should we understand what's happening in Seattle?
It is a baby step in the right direction, but it is not going to be transformational by any stretch. Unfortunately, there actually was a bill that had some teeth to it, but the progressives on the city council said, no, we basically want to make sure that policing has nothing to do with this. And so this new watered-down version essentially says in almost every single case, they're going to just want to push people into treatment multiple times before they will even allow officers to make an arrest. And remember, we're talking about, in the majority of these cases, we're talking about individuals who are already breaking the law because of their addiction, not merely smoking fentanyl or whatever it is they're smoking out in public or on a bus. The second big issue here is that we don't even have enough officers to be able to enforce this to begin with.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're down some 600 cops since the defund movement. And I call it a step in the right direction only because, they're at least sending a message that they are judging the open drug use, which they didn't do before. I'm glad it's going to our Seattle City Attorney. She's a Republican who actually says she will enforce the law, but that means arrests have to be made. And part of this law that they passed includes an executive order that has not yet been written as to the specific direction to officers on their policy of arrest. So this is not a great bill. It's certainly better than nothing, but I don't expect to see any difference, at least not in the short term.
Well, how are social workers being utilized there in Seattle?
They're not being utilized yet. They made this announcement about a month ago that they're starting to hire. And what they're essentially going to do is they'll train 911 operators to ask certain questions to ascertain whether or not a social worker is a better suit than a armed police officer to respond. Now, what they say is that they're going to do it for, crisis calls. Someone is, for example, yelling in the middle of the street while nude running around. Do we need a cop for that? We'll go ahead and send a social worker. The reason why I give you that specific example, because that's exactly what happened some 20 years or so ago. And they sent a deputy who was overpowered by that naked man who was running through the street, and he shot the deputy 11 times, killing him. So we are essentially sending people into either a significant injury or, in worst case scenario, their death, because we have this aversion towards police officers.
And Seattle is experiencing a spike in homicides this year, isn't it?
Correct. We're on pace right now to see the highest number of homicides the city has ever seen.
And yet it's still all social workers on deck. And are there any efforts afoot to recruit police to Seattle?
So, funny you say that, because I had a story on this about a month and a half ago. Last year, about June, the mayor made this big announcement. We've got this retention and recruitment plan for SPD. We've got all of these different points and programs we're going to hit. I went back about a month and a half ago and I looked at all of them just to give a little bit of an update. About 75% has not started or have been completely abandoned. So they're not really doing anything. And as a result, we continue to lose way more cops than we do recruit them.
Do you, I mean, is there conversations that you're a part of? And, obviously you've got residents there call into your show. Where, I mean, so I assume it's like Chicago. I mean, all these cities are basically going through the same thing to varying degrees and with the same sort of profile of politician. They just have different names. So, I mean, what's different in Seattle versus Portland versus San Francisco versus Chicago versus New York versus Baltimore? I mean, is there anything, do you think, that's unique going on in Seattle that's not going on in these other cities? Or is it just, everybody is having to learn the hard way, and they're apparently slow learners about the choices we've made for political leadership and the policies they've imposed and the consequences they throw off?
Well, I mean, that's why I wrote What's Killing America, is because there are way more policies and consequences that we all have in common than differences. Sure, you're going to find small differences from city to city, right? You're dealing with specific policies to a region, specific politicians that have certain ideologies. But for the most part, we're all talking about folks on the radical left, and they have used COVID and the BLM movement to install all of these different laws and policies that have resulted in virtually the same way. And even though, right now we're talking mostly about crime, but when you look into housing policy and homelessness, when you look into
K through 12,
the indoctrination that's going on in our schools, we are seeing virtually the same kind of policies city to city. And the big problem is, and I used to get this a lot when I was doing my show a few years ago in Seattle, I would get text messages coming in saying, hey, I cannot stand Seattle anymore. I'm now moving outside of Seattle. Now I'm getting those exact same people sending text messages saying, I moved away from the madness and now it's spreading. And so just because you have a bad policy in Chicago doesn't mean it's not going to spread. And as you've seen, it's gone statewide. When you go ahead and adopt some of these criminal justice reforms that actually embolden criminals by telling them, yeah, we're not really going to keep you in jail, don't worry, no bail, no cash bail. Well, guess what? People are going to take advantage of that. When you tell the homeless that we're not going to sweep, don't worry, well, then they just make their encampments even larger. When you tell people, don't worry, you're fine, and then they get hit with all these new taxes and they see reparations committees going into effect, they start to wonder whether or not anyone has their back. And the problem is, even though I think talk radio does this really well, we connect dots. We can tell you which policies and which politicians are responsible for what's going on. Unfortunately, not everyone listens to talk radio. And if you're only getting your news in little spurts because you're watching it on local television, you're definitely not getting dots connected. So what I do in What's Killing America is I connect the dots, but beyond that, I tell you why people actually believe what they believe on the radical left. Because if we don't understand what's motivating them, we're not going to be able to defeat them.
And what do you think the primary mover is?
A primary mover for them is driven by an ideology that is obsessed with identity. You can call it wokeness, you can call it critical race theory rearing its ugly head, but ultimately they view stories and issues and everything through a lens specific to individual identity, whether that's race, religion, socioeconomic status. They say, here's the marginalized community. Let's do what we can to punish people who are not in that community to the benefit of the people who are here, because the people who are not in that community somehow either earned it unfairly or they were gifted it, and that's just not fair. We got to bring them down while bringing everybody else up. The problem is you should never be bringing anyone down. You should only be focused on bringing people up. And when you bring one group down, you create another set of consequences. So when it comes to just looking at policing, they believe, and they've said this to their credit, the radical left has always said, starting in 2020 in a very loud way, we want to dismantle systems of oppression. We believe that police departments and the criminal justice system is inherently racist. So now we got to rebuild it through this identity-focused lens. They told us what they were going to do. So we shouldn't be shocked that they did it. But again, because I don't think people understand behind the scenes what's going on and what's motivating people, They get told these various terms about how they're going to go ahead and attack the drug crisis. We're using harm reduction as a strategy. I can ask 10 random people outside my studio right now. You can do the same. What is harm reduction? Not a single person will likely be able to tell you that. But that's a problem, right? Because that's what's being used in a way that is creating a worse-off drug crisis. We have to be able to understand that, and too few people do, and I'm hoping that's what they'll learn from this book.
Jason Rantz is the host of The Jason Rantz Show, KTTH 770 AM in Seattle, Tacoma. And his new book we've been discussing, What's Killing America? Inside the Radical Left's Tragic Destruction of Our Cities. What's Killing America is the book. Jason Rantz, the author. Jason, thanks as always.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Weather's cooling down, but the savings are heating up at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Dan Proft here. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned Mazda, you need to visit Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. You'll find the Mazda you want, and the price you see is the price you get. There's no games, no gimmicks. Right now is a great time to buy a new Mazda with limited time incentives that only come around once a year. You can lease a 2023 Mazda CX-30 for $289 a month, or a 2023 Mazda CX-5 for $315 a month. Or for $539 a month, lease the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90. All lease terms 33 months with $39.95 down, plus tax, title, license, and the $324.24 dock fee, with approved credit through Mazda Capital Services for qualified buyers. To keep your Mazda running great all year round, schedule your next service appointment online at WilkinsMazdaCars.com at their service center, WilkinsMazdaCars.com. Wilkins Mazda is conveniently located in Elmhurst off York Road and 290, just minutes from Oak Brook, the city, and Schaumburg. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Visit WilkinsMazdaCars.com and see dealer for details.
Rick here from Forever Remodeling. You probably heard me talk about how our unique design-build process removes the normal problems of hiring a design and construction company separately. But just don't take my word for it. Listen to these customer reviews. Kelly W. says, from consultation to design to construction, my remodel flowed seamlessly. Adity J says, we were thrilled to have a full-service remodeling firm take all the guesswork out of our project. And Caesar V says, Forever Remodeling made what could have been a very stressful project extremely easy for us. They finished on time and did amazing work. Kitchens, bathrooms, basements, additions, whole house remodeling, whatever you need, our start-to-finish process delivers stunning results without the hassles, headaches, and stress. For a free consultation, call Forever Remodeling at 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I feel better. I look better. I have more energy, everything. And I'm 60 years old.
Oh my gosh, you need to share every bit of the success. I'm in love with them, and I'm going to keep on taking them until the end of time because my body clearly is doing something with Balance of Nature. I mean, my skin looks good, and I've got energy, and I walk, talk fast, and you can see that I'm up with these fruit and vegetables.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Think the government is spying on you? Wait until you learn the entire truth from Swiss America, the trusted leader in precious metals for 40 years. Let's just say you might want to think twice before making a bank withdrawal these days, because somebody could be watching. It's true. Let Swiss America educate you about how banks are required to spy on us for the government and report any behavior they deem suspicious. You'll be shocked when you read The Secret War on Cash from Swiss America, which is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. It's free to Salem listeners. Get your free copy of The Secret War on Cash by calling or texting 800-630-1495. That's 800-630-1495. This war includes digital currencies too, so please get and read The Secret War on Cash free by calling or texting right now at 800-630-1495. 800-630-1495. Message and data rates may apply.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Cotorinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Cotorinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Cotorinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
AM 560, The Answer.
We just got buzzed by an F-35. Holy
We sure
cow.
did.
Oh my.
Woo!
Wow. That was a close call.
All right. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. Thanks to Justin Kosick. We'll be sure to cover the plate. Quinn McCarthy, we're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a glorious day. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Person of interest in the killing of a Romeoville family dead after an Oklahoma crash. Mayor Johnson's plan to put migrant base camps moves forward. The mayor's tip wage plan also moving forward at City Hall. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
Ukraine's president is on Capitol Hill. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but not everyone's rolled out a welcome